and I am Time Warner Cable.
Moeller and St. Xavier, two programs rich in tradition when it comes to high school football.
Both of our teams know each other so well that it's just going to come down to those mistakes and who makes those the most.
These two powerhouses have produced some of the state's top athletes. They know what it takes to play for a state championship.
Round 3 of the playoffs. There's 8 teams left in the state, and you do what got you here.
Tonight, they will put it all on the line to be one step closer to punching their tickets to Ohio Stadium. Moeller, St. Xavier, next on Time Warner Cable's Sports Channel. It's the 2014 Ohio High School Athletic Association football playoffs on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Mother Nature is giving us a break on the ice-cold temperatures to bring us the hottest game of the season. Tonight, semifinal action in the regional between two old GCL rivals, two-time defending champion Archbishop Moeller and the St. X Bombers. And it's the 60th meeting between these two. Tim Bray alongside Tom Gamble. It's not like the regular season time. This is the playoffs.
Well, this is, and you're right, they've already got their share of the GCL South title. For Moeller, trying to do the unthinkable, win a third consecutive D1 state championship. St. X, it's third since 2005 if they can get it done.
And when we look at the brackets between these two schools and also the Division I Region 2, Lakota West and Huber Heights Wayne play in the other semifinal, and of course St. X and Moeller here as a result of their win over Pick Central and also Colerain. The Moeller Crusaders are 3 steps away from winning it all again, and they've certainly rebounded from losing 3 out of 4 in October in the playoffs, especially last week against Pick Central. Moeller looked like Moeller.
Well, they did, and great defense. I mean, Pick Central could do virtually nothing. They've given up less than 100 yards rushing in both playoff games combined. That'll get it done.
Time to identify our stars to watch from the Crusaders camp. On offense, sophomore Hunter Hughes. He didn't have a single carry during the regular season, and he's been impressive in the playoffs and anchoring that defense. Defensive lineman Elijah Taylor.
Hunter who? I mean, are you kidding me? Didn't carry a ball during the regular season. Last week carried it 42 times. Has gone over 100 yards in each of the last 2. And you mentioned Elijah Taylor, a Notre Dame commit. He and the rest of the Moeller defense, too much for St. X in the regular season meeting.
Back in week 5, St. X lost to Moeller and sat with a record of 3-2. They didn't cave. The Bombers won 7 in a row, mainly with a strong running game, especially against Colerain last week.
Well, they did. Ben Glines got back to doing what St. X does, and that's running the football. He racked up 187 yards, couple of TDs. When X runs it well, they're a difficult team to beat.
And time to feature our St. X stars to watch. And where would the Bombers be without Ben Glines, who's on his way to Boston College? And defensively, St. X has 3 tremendous linebackers. One of them, third-year starter Cole Jones.
Yeah, Cole Jones has had a tremendous year. Steve Speck will tell you, everybody knows about Justin Hilliard, the OSU commit, but Cole Jones has played tremendous, and we talked about Ben Glines. You got to run it, you got to stop the run, and that's what X hopes to do tonight.
So tonight, from arguably the #1 conference in the nation, it's St. X and Moeller for the right to go to the state semifinals. Kickoff is on the way next, right here from Mason.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. I have so many fantastic memories of playing for the Buckeyes in one of the greatest football stadiums in the country, Ohio Stadium. Now I'm inviting you to the shoe to watch the best high school teams in Ohio live their dreams during the OHSAA Football State Championships. It's the pinnacle of the high school football season, and 7 state championship games are waiting for you. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history.
To order tickets, call 1-800-745-3000 or go to Ticketmaster.com.
If I could sum up Mike Gilkey, I would say obsession with quality windows.
He has a passion that drives him to even try to enhance the best product he can have. So I'd have to say he is obsessed with it.
I am obsessed with building the best because I'm building the windows for you. I want you to be proud of your home and proud to say you have Gilkey Windows. Save $1,500 when you purchase a whole house of windows and receive no interest for 12 months. Call or visit us online today.
Welcome to McCluskey Chevrolet's exciting new facility in the Kings Auto Mall. Let us show you our vision of the future as we transform your buying and servicing experience into something fun and enjoyable. Relax and enjoy free Starbucks, Coke Freestyle, snacks, and an iPad in one of our 4 guest lounges. McCluskey Chevrolet is Cincinnati's exclusive dealer providing free lifetime mechanical protection on all new and used vehicles.
McCluskey Chevrolet, lower prices, lower rates.
Start of the high school basketball season. Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. Join me Saturday, December 6th for the 3rd annual Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, presented by CareSource and McDonald's. This year, it's all about the rematch. We're giving some of the top boys and girls teams in Ohio another shot at each other. And it's all to support the great work being done by these fine charities and organizations. The Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, December 6th at Ohio Dominican University.
High school football on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is presented by your Central Ohio Honda dealers. Find your next new Honda online at centralohiohondadealers.com. By Meyer, top brands at low prices. Shop today and save. And by Tom Raper RVs in Columbus, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana. Unseasonably warm here for this time of the year as Moeller and St. X get set to go here at Dwyer Field at Atrium Stadium in Mason, Ohio. Full house. Third member of our group tonight is Scott Leo. He's on the sideline. Scott?
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better scenario for high school football tonight. The weather has cooperated. 2 of the best teams in the state, the defending state champs. They've both played a rigorous schedule. As you said, maybe from the toughest conference in the nation, and obviously they're big rivals. Storylines on top of storylines for this one tonight, guys. This is what it's all about.
All right, Scott, we will look forward to hearing from you throughout tonight's game as the Moeller Crusaders will kick off. St. X won the toss and will receive in tonight's game.
Which for me, Tim's a little bit interesting. X likes that defense, but they've obviously opted to take the football and want to see if they can run it down the field, maybe get on top early here tonight.
So Coughlin has it teed up at the 40-yard line. The winner moves on to the state semifinals. St. X will get the ball first, and we are underway in the state semifinals, and that one is way deep. The adrenaline is flowing here in Mason. So the St. X Bombers will get the football first, and they will run out Matt Whitrock as the quarterback tonight. And Whitrock in there in place of Sean Clifford, who is not available for tonight's game. And Whitrock is a 6'2", 160-pound junior, and he will start it for the St. X Bombers. And he has played in 5 games, but this is a big start for him.
Yeah, and started 4 of them, Tim, and don't forget he's won all 4 of those. In fact, after the Moeller game, he started the Elder game that started this 7-game winning streak.
So they are going to go to the air right away, and Frick catches it, but it is behind the line of scrimmage. And so the Moeller Crusaders come up big, lose 3 yards. And here is Whitrock's numbers: 27 out of 49, 227 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception as the starting quarterback for the St. X Bombers, only a junior.
Steve Speck said he throws a comfortable ball, but again, they need him to manage the game, and hopefully for St. X they can run the football.
Loss of 3, the ball back on the 17-yard line. They put a man in motion. Both of these teams have excellent tight ends. Here's Glines trying to push the pile, and he's back to the original line of scrimmage, and then it's a rugby scrum after that. And there is that big offensive line of the Moeller Crusaders. That ball ended up in the end zone, but he was stopped at about the 22-yard line. So gain of 5. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 right here.
Well, Glines is a north and south guy. He'll run straight ahead.
And so we talked about that big line. 3 seniors on that line. McHale really strong on the outside. There's the backs and receivers. We talked about Ben Glines. Look for Noah Davis as well. 3rd down, and call it 8 from the 22-yard line. 8 in the box as Whitrock will throw and complete it. And that is Noah Davis for a first down. He gains 9. He needed 8. Move the chains.
Huge first down right there for St. X. And Whitrock again, throwing that soft pass out there. Noah Davis, one of 2 tight ends that they'll use effectively. Here's your defensive starters. And boy, I got to tell you, Tim, that line right there caused all kinds of problems in game number 1 against St. X, totaling 5 sacks.
And we talked about the linebackers being so strong for St. X. Well, Moeller's got theirs too, plus a very good secondary. It is 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. And this time it's Glines going off the right side. He gained a couple of yards, but not much more than that. Jack Meyer leading the way for the Moeller Crusaders, making the stop. It'll be a gain of 3, and all the way out to the 35-yard line, it'll be 2nd down.
Now, Moeller's very aggressive. They run a Michigan State-type defense, and they'll come at you. They'll put pressure on. But Glines is your straight-ahead guy. Frick is more out of the backfield, kind of in the slot. They'll use him like they did to pick up that first down.
Colton Paul and 2 others come to the near sideline, and they will go once again to Frick. That's to Glines, and Glines will get the first down up to the 42, almost to the 43-yard line. So this first series is the identity of the Bombers right away, the running game.
Well, this is what started it. Steve Specht, after the loss to Moeller, going to play Elder. He challenged the offensive line and said, guys, if we're going to make a move this year, it's all on your shoulders, and they've been very, very good since. They opened up the hole there, and Ben Glines, a tremendous runner. Boston College plans, I believe, on using him more as a receiver, but for St. X tonight, he's going to be carrying the load.
Well, Homer will come in and come to the near sideline. He will be in the slot, and Matt Donnelly is out here as well. And they'll go single back, and they'll go off to the left side, and that is Glines again. He may carry it 40 times tonight. I'll tell you what, he's carried it every single time so far, and the middle linebacker, Rick Rega, makes the tackle on the play.
Well, he carried it 34 times last week for 187 yards, so they're not afraid. St. X pretty much says, here's who we are, here's what we're going to do, stop us. Now, the first time they met, Moeller did, so we'll see. But I think St. X is a much different team, much more effective, and Glines, don't forget, didn't play in the first meeting between these 2 teams.
And up the middle, and that time it's Frick. First time Ronnie Frick has carried the football, and he's into Moeller territory. Gives us a chance to talk a little bit about this senior. And he's 5'9", 169 pounds, 80 carries this season, 7 touchdowns, and in game 1 he had 43 yards on 12 carries.
Yeah, he's a second-team All-GCL South performer as an athlete. So really, he's a guy that, again, they put in the slot, they'll hand it off to him occasionally, throwing passes out of the backfield. Ronnie Frick is very effective for St. X as well.
So it's first down. Twins to the near sideline. They put a tight end in motion, and that is Davis, and they'll run this way. And Frick with a power inside, and they will get down to about the 42-yard line. Man, they are going between tackles, aren't they, Tom?
Well, Tim, they've already run it more effectively on this opening drive than they did the entire game the first time. They averaged 1.6 yards a carry. Moeller only averaged 1.7, but here you see, and this is Frick. He's not a big guy, but yet he's able to get up in there, and it's the push from the St. X offensive line that has really been the difference in this transformation of St. X offensively.
John Grigger makes the stop on the play, and he had help. So Whitrock threw it a couple of times, got a big 3rd down on this series, and it's 2nd down and 5. Call it the 43-yard line, and Davis in motion again. And Whitrock's going to throw it, straight drop back, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of the tight end, Noah Davis.
We asked Coach Steve Specht earlier in the week about throwing the football, taking some shots down the field, and he didn't say that necessarily, but he said we need to throw it 12 to 15 times. He said complete 9 to 12 possession-type passes like this one right here, just a little bit high, maybe a little too much velocity off the hands of Davis, who's been a very good receiver for St. Xavier this year.
The linebackers didn't get over there very quickly, and so that may be open in the future, and I'm sure guys upstairs have noticed that, and they'll take note. They may go back to that play. Man in motion from right to left, and Whitrock will look this way, and he'll throw in the middle, and it's going to be short of the first down. And the linebackers corral Tyrone McFarland, his first catch of the ball game, his 5th catch of the season. He's a senior, but pretty versatile guy.
He's in the backfield mix, and again, the key for St. X, though, is you want to maintain the football, you want to take time off the clock, but at the end of the day, you also got to put some points on the board.
4th down, and St. X quickly to the line of scrimmage. And Whitrock, with that hard count, will get a first down by penalty. Wow. That is an impressive play by the Bombers.
5-yard penalty, first down.
That is Troy Newsom. He is our referee tonight. Good crew. You would expect that in the state semifinal.
Coaches might not think that, but yes, we would suspect that would be the case. And you look at this drive, too. St. X has chewed up almost 6 minutes, almost half of the first quarter with this opening drive.
Lines near side, picks his hole, and inside the 30-yard line after a first down by penalty. He is stopped at the 28.
Yeah, and Tim, you mentioned right there that offside that gave St. Xavier the first down. They were going for it on 4th down, and you see Glines here, who he's a good guy. He cuts up, makes some good decisions. But let's not forget, in the first meeting, a 13-7 Moeller win, it was St. X that made the mistakes. An interception return for a TD, another turnover that led to a field goal. So far, no mistakes.
Down to the 28-yard line of Moeller. First series of the ball game, and again we might have a neutral site infraction.
They didn't call it. No flag.
No, they didn't call it. He got back. That's a good job by the defensive line of the Moeller Crusaders, and not much running room at all. And you'd kind of expect this because Moeller hasn't given up 100 yards a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, their defense has been pretty darn solid all season long, only giving up 13.6 points a game, and they've been especially tough in the postseason against the triple option attack of Miamisburg and a pretty athletic team in Pickerington Central that came into that game undefeated. When you can shut down teams to less than 100 yards combined, you're doing something right on defense.
3rd down and 4. The Bombers have faced a 4th down, 2 third downs in this opening drive, and they have taken up the almost 2/3 and now almost 3/4 of the first quarter of play. And of course, no score. Whitrock going to throw it, and it's incomplete. He led his receiver just a little bit too far, and Henry Hesser he wasn't able to get out to get that one.
Well, and you can see you got to complete that pass if you're St. X. On the sideline, you can see it here. He threw one over Noah Davis, a little bit tall for him earlier, and this one just a little too. Yeah, he got his hands on it, but still a difficult catch to make. And now St. X faced with another 4th down situation. We talked to Steve Speck. He mentioned about special teams being somewhat suspect. So I would expect in circumstances like this where they're kind of in between, they're probably going to go for it, and they're lining up again to do it here.
4 for 4, make it 5 for 5 with the one earlier on 4th down, and they got it. I think he got that one. Yes, he did. What a great catch out there by Ronnie Frick. He laid out for his quarterback.
Tremendous catch right there by Frick to keep the drive alive, and boy, he led him a little bit much there, but a great diving catch, and that's what Frick's done all season long. He gives him that versatility, a guy who can run it, a guy who can do right there, go out and catch it. And St. X, the drive is like, they might shoot the whole first quarter, Tim.
Wow, I mean, we're coming down to the 5-minute mark, and Moeller hasn't run one offensive play. Whitrock will send Davis in motion, and that's actually Fissinger. And no place to run inside. Oh, my goodness. There was Elijah Taylor, and he was not going to give any ground that time to Ben Glines.
That was pretty representative of the first time these two teams play. I mean, again, you see it right here, and Moeller usually does a really good job of clogging it up, fighting off the blocks right there, and Elijah Taylor's a guy. There's a reason why Notre Dame came after, recruited him, and obviously he committed there. So, and now you're in a situation where if you're St. X, 2nd and long, you want to stay on schedule, if you will, so they need to pick up some yardage here.
Frick and Glines in the ball game. They'll send Glines, well, he's the tailback. Everybody else into the package, and it's Davis, line of scrimmage, to the 20, maybe to the 19. Not much running room after he catches it. Miles Hayes with the tackle.
Now it is interesting, Tim. You remember, and you can see right there, they had him right there up on him, and that's one thing about Moeller, sure tackling, and that's if you're a good defense, you make tackles, especially one-on-one. But if he talked about 12 to 15 passes in a game, he's halfway there on the first drive.
8 minutes gone of the first quarter, and St. X has the football and has had the football the entire quarter. This is the first series of the game, and we've got a whistle. And a timeout wanted by the St. X Bombers. And
St. Xavier, their first timeout.
So first opportunity for these two teams to take a blow, believe me, because they have been battling so far.
Well, this is a great formula if you're Steve Speck, the St. X coach, and the Bombers. I mean, you're maintaining the football, you're moving it down the field. So from there, they're doing it right now.
Tonight's Keys to the Game brought to you by your Central Ohio Honda dealers. Visit centralohiohondadealers.com to find the dealer nearest you and for great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas built right here in Central Ohio.
Well, Tim, I mean, for Moeller, they need to run the ball effectively, and I mean Hunter Hughes run the ball effectively. He's really re-energized their running game. Relentless pressure on the quarterback, 5 sacks the first time around, but also they were aggressive against the line of scrimmage, and for St. X, eliminate the costly turnovers that really were the reason that St. X lost the first game, and big plays in the passing game. I know they talk about possession passing, but if you can hit a big one every now and again, it can change the complexion of the game.
So Whitrock has brought the lines out there. He's got help in that backfield. It's third down and long from the 18-yard line, and Whitrock's going to run it himself. Got a hole, and he's inside the 15-yard line down to the 13, and that is going to be real close to a first down. It's going to be short, though.
Well, what else? Another fourth down on the opening drive. But that's a nice read there, running behind Ben Glines, leading. Almost got the first down, but still that's the first time we've seen Whitrock with a designed run tonight. So here you go again. They've converted the previous 2 fourth downs on this drive. We'll see if they can make it 3 for 3.
They're going to give it to Glines, and he is going to be stopped. I don't think he got it. Moeller doesn't think he's got it. It's all about the spot, and the spot says this drive is over.
Wow. Big play there by the Moeller defensive front, getting that surge. You know it's probably going to go to Glines. Elijah Taylor in there again, and you can see it here. Moeller just off the ball into the backfield and meeting Glines before he can get up to the line of scrimmage. He did surge there, but they marked him back. So all that distance, all that time, and at the end of the day for St. X, a 0 on the scoreboard.
Matt Crable, would you have taken points?
No, I would have gone on fourth down.
Matt Crable is in, and he will square it out and send it to the far side right away. And the first pass of the game goes to Jack Toom, the senior wide receiver, and that is his 26th catch. Here's Matt Crable, and one of the talented young quarterbacks in Southwestern Ohio. 22-61, that's his total yards. 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. If you think that name sounds familiar, yes, it is. He's got great pedigree.
He sure does. Bob Crable, his dad, played at Notre Dame in the NFL and was a Moeller head coach previously.
Yes, and there's nothing on the right side of the line as the St. X Bombers battle up and get that running play down, and that is Hunter Hughes on the carry. There's your offensive line for the Moeller Crusaders. Young, couple of sophomores on that line, and then your backs led by your sophomore Hunter Hughes that we just talked about. Kyle Butts is really a talented tight end, and they also have one in Jake Hausman too, and that time the Bombers come up large again, and it led by Cole Jones, and there wasn't anything off the left side of that line, and the defensive starters for St. X do the job. There's that linebacking core we talked about, and the defensive backs as well, and it is a punt by Moeller that goes out of bounds. Well, it's actually staying in bounds, and it will roll around the 36-yard line. I thought that thing was going out completely.
Got a nice roll, but
so That punt rolls all the way to the 36-yard line. Let's go to the sideline. Here's Scott.
Well, guys, St. X had the football for 9 minutes and 7 seconds on that opening drive. They didn't come away with any points, but they were constantly getting in those 3rd and 4th down and short situations. Steve Speck told me earlier this week, he said, if we're 3rd down and 3, I've got 150 plays to choose from. If we're 3rd and long, I've got about 4. So they've got to stay on schedule, something, Tom, you mentioned earlier. Let's see if they can do it again on this drive.
Field position to the St. X Bombers. They start this drive at the 36-yard line, and they'll try to go off right side. And that Moeller left side of the line is saying no way, maybe a yard possibly to bend the lines. And the linebacking core did a nice job there, led by Ryan Stofko.
Yeah, Ryan Stofko's had a tremendous year. And I got to tell you, Tim, I mean, this is a Moeller St. X game. I mean, this is eerily reminiscent of the first meeting, too. But to what Scott said, if you are Steve Speck, while you're not winning the game, it's scoreless, you do have to like what you've done. You marched it up and down the field with relative, I don't want to say ease, but you converted when you needed to, and then you got Moeller on 3 and out. And at some point, if you keep running plays, you might get some fatigue on the Moeller defensive side.
Yeah, 3 and out. That's just 3 plays from scrimmage for Moeller, and we're down to 27 seconds, and that ball knocked away. We tried to get Ben Glines, and I honestly don't think he was going to get anything because a linebacker's outside there and also a corner.
It was funny, Tim. I was talking to my old radio partner, Richard Skinner, who was on. He's doing the Lakota West Wayne game tonight for Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. He said, my game's in the 40s, yours is going to be in the teens. And I said, it probably is. I mean, this is just a classic Moeller St. X game. These two teams know each other. They really know what one another's going to do. It's who can out-execute the other and, quite frankly, make fewer mistakes.
McFarland is in the backfield on 3rd down, and he'll go in motion boundary side. They'll throw it out there, and that ball was knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So 2 of them, 2 passes knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That's Brad Hacker who made that play.
Well, and you can see Moeller's now getting defensive pressure. They're getting in the backfield. They're cutting off the throwing lanes. That's what they were able to do the first time. I'm a little surprised St. X is throwing the ball a lot more than we thought they might.
And with the punt and a fair catch at the 29-yard line. So Moeller will get it back for the 2nd time, and just 14 seconds left here in the quarter. Can you believe that Moeller has run 3 plays in the first quarter?
And likely 1 more. So 4 plays in an entire first quarter. But I guess if you're Moeller, if you want to look at the bright side, you're still in the game. Nobody's winning.
This is the first drive.
Wow.
18 plays and 67 yards. No points, though, and it took 9:07.
Sheesh.
There's Hughes trying to take it to the outside. Nowhere to go. My goodness. That was Justin Hilliard crashing in from the outside linebacker position.
Yeah, and Hunter Hughes is finding it so far difficult sledding, trying to run a football. Hilliard with a great individual play right there. And the Bombers are swarming too. Steve Speck talks about some of the no-name guys who are also making plays.
We have played a quarter here in Mason. Moeller and St. X. It's everything that we expected in this regional semifinal. No score after 1.
The best part of being apart is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
So, folks, what's it going to take to get you into this new car today? Tell you what, don't knock off an extra $100. If you take her today, I know it's a little more than you wanted to spend. I don't want to rush you. Let me go and back and check with my sales manager.
The Performance Toyota Promise will put a smile on your face. A new way to buy a car. No negotiation. Just one easy price. Our best price up front with 5-year no-cost maintenance.
Count on performance. I'm the shark, they're the seals, baby.
The best part of being apart is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Visit CentralOhioHondaDealers.com to find the dealer nearest you and for great deals on fuel-efficient Hondas built right here in Central Ohio. Just about set to start the second quarter. The first quarter dominated by St. X. They ran 21 plays to just 4 for the Moeller Crusaders.
But if you're Moeller, you look at the scoreboard, it's still 0-0, and St. X has already thrown 9 passes.
And only for 19 yards.
Correct.
And Matt Crable gets it outside on the wing. And they get the ball out to Sterling Nose, I believe.
Matt Crable's had a great year. You mentioned he led the GCL South during the regular season in passing yardage ahead of Peyton Ramsey of Elder. And, you know, he's got an accurate arm. John Rodenberg, the Moeller coach, compared him to a former quarterback of his, Brian Cupido, who played at McNicholas High School, went on to the University of Minnesota.
Kyle Butts got that ball in the last one, and it is over the middle and caught here. And that is Chase Pankey, and nice to see him back after, boy, being out since week number, 3?
Yeah, and he's their deep threat too, Tim. I know that was more of a possession play there, but he's going to Boston College as well, and he gives them that vertical threat, and he's a talented guy.
First down from the 45, and Crable on schedule. He's going to go deep, and there he is. Pankey with the ball at inside the 20, all the way down to the 13-yard line, right on cue.
Well, and that's what he gives you right there. He can beat you deep, and that's the reason that he's going to be playing in the ACC. And you can see him here right off the line of scrimmage, no hesitation, just a quick move, outrunning the St. Xavier secondary, and now 4 plays in the first quarter, and now Moeller's knocking on the door inside the 15.
And what a huge play to take it all the way down to the 13-yard line. And so Moeller loads up that offensive backfield. And they give it off to Hughes. And they've been throwing the football, trying to get that middle of the line loosened up, but the Bombers had nothing of that.
No, and Simeon Lane's a guy we haven't mentioned so far, but I mean, he's going to Princeton. He's what Elijah Taylor is for Moeller for St. X. He clogs it up. He's had a great year. He's a great young man, and boy, he's a tremendous player, and somebody who's probably going to have a really, really solid college career too.
And if he's going to Princeton, he's going to have a great degree.
He is.
Crable on the timing route, and that is close to the goal line, and it is just short. Very close, as Toom just took it right to the inch line.
Well, you can see it, and Matt Crable throws a really nice ball right there. Toom cutting in, almost got in the end zone, but you got Toom, you got Butch, you got Bates, you got Houseman, and now you've got Pankey. You got an arsenal of weapons.
And in the backfield is Hilliard, and that's a loss on the play. Hughes tried to take it off the left side, and there was nothing there, and he's frustrated.
Well, he is, and St. X has really done a great job stopping the run to this point. However, Moeller's moved the ball down the field, passing. They're getting great penetration there, and Justin Hilliard's coming up big for St. X in this game so far.
That was a 42-yard pass that set this whole thing up to Pankey. And inside, and there is nothing happening between the tackles to the up man. And they tried to get the ball to Bates that time. Doug Bates tried to sneak it in, and the St. X line was right there.
Well, they are, and I don't know that Moeller's going to be able to just run it straight ahead. I think they might have to do a little misdirection.
Moeller,
they're going to try
first time out.
Make sure they figure it out and don't squander this great scoring opportunity. And you would have to think they've got one of the best kickers in Matt Coughlin, who's 12 of 18 in field goals, but you don't want to be at the 1-inch line and kicking field goals if you're Moeller.
Well, these two teams have really done a tremendous job so far in doing what they do best and run the football, and it's no question about that. The OHSAA State Championships kick off December the 4th through December the 6th. You can catch all the action on Fox Sports Time Ohio, or if you live in the Cincinnati or Dayton area, you can catch them right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
I will. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that.
And,
I'll tell you, talking about another team, these are both from the GCL South, but how about last night right at this same field? How about LaSalle?
Yeah.
I mean, they've moved now into the state semis in D2. And, boy, Jeremy Larkin, if you haven't had a chance to see that backfield combo of Larkin and Jarrell White, it's something special.
Could have 2 state representatives from the same conference, and there's only 4 teams.
What do you do here, Tim? I'm not running it straight ahead.
I think you go to the edge. I really do. I think you go to the edge. I think you got one-on-one. Look here.
How about a little play action?
I don't think you throw it.
You got those 2 big tight ends, Bates and Hausman. I'd consider it.
Well, Hausman is certainly a guy that can get it done, and they put Bates in motion, and here comes Crable, and Crable will throw it, and they get the touchdown. Touchdown, Moeller.
There you go.
And there's Jake Hausman, who is just a touchdown machine.
Yeah, he really is. He's a junior. Many people rate him as high as the 2nd best tight end in the country for his class. Bates caught a couple TD passes last week. Bates is going to UC and Hausman. I just think, Tim, when you got that size advantage down at the goal line, if you trust your quarterback, and John Rodenberg trusts Matt Crable to make a good decision, and he did right there.
All-time leading point scorer at Moeller. Matt Coughlin knocks it through. 9:35 left, and from 1 yard out, Crable hits Hausman, and that was a tremendous throw. And just look, I was really impressed the way Jake Hausman just shielded everybody.
They did.
And he made that catch.
Well, sure-handed, and Matt Crable throws a really nice ball. But here's the thing about Moeller, Tim. And we talked to John Rodenberg, the Crusaders coach, and you could tell he was a little agitated, I think. He didn't think that his team, they lost that 3 games in 4 weeks, but you got to look at who they lost to. They lost to LaSalle. They're still playing in D2. They lost to St. Ignatius. I think most people thought they'd still be playing, but they got knocked out. And they lost to Lakewood St. Edward, a team that was ranked #1 in the country earlier this year. Those are the 3 losses. And he also pointed out, hey, if we didn't have bad first quarters, we might be undefeated. Now, to Moeller's credit, they have really turned it around since then. And I got to tell you, Tim, at the Division I level, to be this close to going for a 3rd straight state title with how even things are today is pretty miraculous.
So the Moeller Crusaders not rattled at all there in the first quarter. Nope. They only ran 4 plays, but look at the scoreboard. They're leading 7-0. Short kick on the ground. Picked up short. And it is returned, and the ball's on the ground, but the ground kind of got that one as well. At the 30-yard line, let's go to Scott.
Well, guys, one of the things that has separated this Moeller club over the last few years when they won these state championships has been those offensive weapons. You mentioned Crable, better than 2,200 passing yards on the year. That was his 20th TD pass, and he spreads the ball around to a bunch of different guys. They have several individuals that have scoring touchdowns or receiving touchdowns on the year, so you can't really focus on 1 or 2 targets.
So the Bombers, thanks, Scott, take it at the 30-yard line, and they try a little counter this time out to the 32-yard line, a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
I don't think they'll change their philosophy, Tim. I mean, Steve Specky pretty much told us this is what we do. However, you can't get too far behind. So they're only 1 score back, so you don't panic. You got plenty of time. You drove it down. You had an 18-play drive earlier, but you've got to convert. You got to put points on the board.
Matt Whitrock is the quarterback. St. X has used 7 different quarterbacks this season, including a couple of Wildcat formations with Ben Glines. Whitrock, play action. He's going to scramble and go down at about the 34-yard line, and a flag. And
2 of them.
2 flags.
From the same guy.
And guess what? That is a personal foul. And it's a late hit, and it's a high hit into the helmet as well. And that's going against Moeller. We'll get the official call from the field.
Personal foul, illegal helmet contact. Number 15 of the defense. That's 15 yards, 1st down.
Actually, 2 Moeller defenders almost hit each other. That's a tough one. But, you know, at any level of football, Tim, obviously that's been a primary focus, and you certainly can't blame anybody for throwing a flag in a circumstance like that.
Twins to the far side of the field, the wide side, as they will put Davis in motion, and Glines finds a hole on the left side, and Riga makes the stop on the play, but if he didn't catch him, he was way deep in the secondary.
Well, and that's what you want right there. They had good push off the offensive line. Ben Glines, a north-south runner. He popped through the hole there. If you can pick up 5 or 6 yards on first down, as Scott alluded to, Steve Speck's playbook, it gets a lot easier when you have a short distance and can, I hate the old adage, Tim, but stay on schedule.
Here's the thing, though, Tom. I think right now St. X feels a little pressure that they are going to have to score on this drive. They have to respond to that Moeller drive, trailing 7-0. You give it to Glines again. Oh, he gets racked right at the line of scrimmage. And that's Frick and not Glines, and he got popped big time. Elijah Taylor leading the way.
Elijah, that's a big-time hit right there, and that's what Moeller does. Now, you mentioned about feeling the need to score. In the first meeting, Moeller led 10-0, and right before halftime, Sean Clifford hit Ronnie Frick with 24-yard TD to make it 10-7, and you could see the momentum there, but they weren't able to get over the hump. I would agree with you. You got to keep Moeller out of the end zone again here, but you got to get some points to gain some confidence. Steve Speck talked about his team playing with more confidence. We'll see if they have it here.
Another third down for the Bombers, and Whitrock is going to throw for it. He's got a man open, but it's short of the first down. Davis catches, but a sure tackle by Mitch Browning.
Yeah, Browning's a key member of that Moeller secondary, and they've played really well all season long here, and you can see it's one-on-one, a short pass, a possession-type pass, but really nowhere to run once he catches a football.
Once again, this is the third time in the ball game that the Bombers have got a 4th and short. They have been pretty successful. Actually, on the first series, they converted 2, missed 1, so this is actually number 4.
Little risky here, though, because if you don't pick this up, you're giving Moeller awful good field position with the lead.
Whitrock's going to take it himself, and a pretty good push inside. He's all the way to the 40, and he gets it by a yard. So good, simple play that the Bombers execute very well.
Well, that's what you want to do. Again, if you're St. X and you run the football, John Bach, of course, the center there, and Steve Speck talked about what a great improvement he's made. His brother, Matt, younger but bigger, a very talented player as well. But, you know, you're relying on a guy to get a forward surge. He did there in the St. X drive. 3 out of 4 now on 4th down conversions for the Bombers in the game.
27 plays already in this football game for the Bombers. They put a man in motion from right to left, and they give it to McFarland, and he gains a couple down to about the 37-yard line. And that's where the Bombers' play is stopped by Ryan Stofko.
You know what Moeller doesn't do is they just don't give up the big play. I mean, St. X, as you mentioned, they're almost running 30 plays in the game, and yet you don't have any points, and that's because Moeller, they'll give you 3 yards, 4 yards here. They just do not, you know, the old bend but don't break, and that's what the Moeller defense has done so far.
Trips come to the near side, the boundary side, and it'll be Whitrock trying for that quarterback design keeper play inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line.
And they've gotten him in a couple runs now. And, you know, St. X continues to move the football, but it's not easy. I mean, Moeller makes it awful difficult. When you look at their defense and they're giving up fewer than 2 touchdowns a game against the type of schedule that they've played all year, that's pretty darn impressive.
Giving up only 163 points.
How about that? But once again, look, St. X here in a very manageable 3rd down situation.
This time the trips are to the wide side of the field, and here's Glines, and he has stood up right at the line of scrimmage. And Moeller made sure that Glines did not get those extra yards, and there was nothing going on. Jack Meyer gets up off the stack last.
Yeah, he's a solid player too, but you see Elijah Taylor getting in there, getting his hands on Glines as well, and here we are again, another 4th down.
Stofko is also in on that play. 4:25 left here in this first half. Moeller leads 7-0. Their touchdown was set up on a 42-yard pass play down to the 13-yard line by Chase Pankey.
You know, don't forget, last year Moeller won its 2nd straight state championship, but they basically outscored people.
St. Xavier, their 2nd time out.
So you can see Steve Speck want to make sure, man, you're down here again. You want to get points, but
last year it wasn't the defense that carried Moeller. So what they did is they changed defensive coordinators, and they went to a different philosophy. Steve Speck there on the sideline, the St. X coach, talking to his team and making sure that they've got the right play for this, another key play on a drive. But they went up to Michigan State, and Pat Narduzzi, who was with Mark D'Antonio as a defensive coordinator at the University of Cincinnati, they spent days. There's John Rodenberg, and he sent his defensive staff up there, and they put in this Michigan State aggressive defense, and you can see what it's done. I mean, they wreak havoc. They're constantly in the backfield, and they make you work for everything you get.
Yeah, it's like a 3-3-5, but they crash the middle,
yes,
and they'll put everybody in the box. They'll bring a safety down, and the thing that I'm impressed with is they're all speed guys. I mean, those guys can really fly in the back secondary for Moeller, and they get in that box, and you're not going to go side to side, and then their three guys up front are so strong, you're not going to run against them either, and that's been their philosophy.
Now we'll see what happens here. Here we go, another 4th down.
From the 32-yard line of Moeller. Out of the gun, Whitrock was going to have to run it, and he didn't get it. He's down at the 35-yard line, a loss on the play, and the Crusaders were in the backfield. Hayes blew it up. That was doomed from the snap.
Yeah, well, he really didn't handle the snap cleanly and then tried to scramble a little bit. And again, you just talked about it, Timmy. Look, there's Elijah Taylor putting pressure on. You can see he makes a tackle in the end. But when you got 4 and 5 guys in the backfield, when you take the snap, it's going to be very, very. Look at the time of possession, Tim. I mean, St. X is dominated. But yet Moeller has the lead.
So the Crusaders will come out, and they'll have that diamond in the backfield with Crable back there, and he's going to throw out of this set. And he's going to go deep again. Henke can't get there. He's a speed guy. He's got ACC, SEC type speed, but he has been hurt. He's about 85%. But I'll tell you what, the young man, he has an opportunity to get this football.
Well thrown, just a little bit too far because he had the defender beat. I mean, Henke could have had another big play right there had Matt Crable taken just a couple of yards off of that toss.
So Crable with a 2nd down, and too many men on the field for the Moeller Crusaders. They had 12 out there, or did they get the...
They got the timeout.
They got the timeout, and John Rodenberg is absolutely sizzling hot.
With the quarterback.
Well, he had to get the guy off the field before you snapped the football, and that didn't happen. 3:54 to go here in this first half. Moeller has not had a lot of plays, but they've got the lead. So certainly a game that
there's a St. X offense on the sideline there trying to, obviously St. X, you've had the ball almost 4 times as much as Moeller has, but you have nothing to show for it. This is an interesting series. This is the 60th meeting between these two schools. And the passing yards right there, obviously, Moeller, 71. X, they've thrown a lot of passes, but they haven't really picked up that much yardage. And Steve Speck talked about possession passing, but you also have to convert.
Well, Whitrock is 6 out of 10 for just 22 yards.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why. They just haven't had any yards after catch.
Correct.
2nd down, call it 10 from the 35-yard line. St. X is going to go with 3 down linemen here, 3 linebackers, and the rest of them are speed guys. They will go to Hughes. And I take that back. That is Yet. That is Yet. Demetrius Yet. And he has not played in the backfield, has not carried tonight until now. Just the junior. And he's got 4 touchdowns, and he had a huge hole.
He did, and they were really fortunate that he didn't break that for long. But Nose and Yet have been the primary ball carriers until Hughes in the postseason.
And Yet is still in there. Butts is in the slot on the right. 3rd down and 2, and yet again trying to take it outside, and he breaks 2 tackles. He will not get to the sticks.
Can't break 5. Nope. That was great pursuit by the St. X defense. Forced that to the boundary and closed it off, and Moeller's going to have to punt again.
Yeah, Wilcox, the boundary corner makes the play for the St. X Bombers. So it's 4th down and 4, and we got a whistle and a flag on the play as Jacob Rogan let that one go. So 4th down. And
illegal substitution against the defense. 5-yard penalty. Result will be a first down.
So both teams have a first down via penalty to keep drives alive.
Yeah, that's a killer for you right there, Tim. I mean, it really is. That I started to mention about this. This is the 60th meeting, but the last 3 games have been won by Moeller. You know, it started last year in the regular season, 20-7 OT. Then they beat them 42-17 in the playoffs, and then earlier this year. So Moeller has a 3-game winning streak current in this series.
Ball moved up to the 48-yard line of the Crusaders. And there's the pump and go, and wide open is Toom. He's going to take it the distance for the touchdown, but there's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
There is. I don't think it's coming back.
There's a flag at the line of scrimmage, and it's on Moeller.
No, it is. Yep.
An illegal procedure against the Crusaders will take a touchdown off the board.
Great play call.
Oh, and the pump and go, and Crable did it to perfection. So the officials are getting together. That was a 48-yard catch and run. And it would have been 13-0, but we'll see. Flag on the play. John Rodenberg very concerned across the way.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So that one's on Moeller. And we'll move it back to the 43-yard line.
Not sure they're getting a lot of agreement from John Rodenberg and the Moeller sideline there. Boy, that's a big penalty.
That's huge.
Huge in a game.
Well, they've taken, what, 3 shots?
Yep.
They've hit 1.
But
and they should have had another.
Correct, and they should have had a third, really. I mean, so their vertical passing game looks pretty darn good. I mentioned this series in the 3 straight wins by Moeller, but 2 of them, Tim, one in overtime by 3, earlier this year by 6. You would expect a game going down to the last few minutes tonight.
They're going to look to the sideline this time. Yet is in there at tailback.
I'd keep throwing the ball, Tim. I mean, they've been effective.
Crable going to run it himself. He doesn't do this very much. And he is back to the original line of scrimmage, the 48-yard line. Very unusual when Crable pulls it down and runs the football. He is a pocket passer.
He is, but he's also a guy who makes good decisions. And I think that's why John Rodenberg isn't afraid to air it out.
Yeah, just the 18th time in the postseason that he has run the football. Well, Moeller was cheating up on the left side that time, and they'll change the play. This is an audible. 2nd down and 10. Going to shoot the A-gap. Now they decide not to, and Crable's going to take it again, and they'll get to midfield, and that is it. Boy, what a terrific job by that defense of St. X. And look who's pulling off the stack, Justin Hilliard.
Yeah, who's having a big game. And Matt Crable, you mentioned he doesn't run a ton, but you also, if you're Moeller, you're looking at the clock here. If you keep it running, you might be able to get it into halftime, take that 7-0 lead. You're now at midfield, so if you have to punt, St. X, in theory, would be pinned relatively deep in its own territory.
Coughlин's kicked a 47-yarder in the playoffs. Here's Crable looking, nobody open. Now he's going to throw it deep, and it's incomplete. Overthrew everybody, and Penke was over there as the intended receiver, 4th down.
Yeah, good coverage by St. X. John Rodenberg, you can see right there, not happy.
So Crable had one taken off the board. He rolled that pocket as long as he possibly could.
And that touchdown with the ineligible man downfield could be huge in this game.
And a flag on the punt, and Moeller's going to get it back. That is a roughing the punter penalty. And they mark the ball at the 16-yard line. Let's see.
Running into.
Yes, now roughing the kicker penalty, but let's see. Here it is again.
High snap. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's not going to be a roughing. That's going to be a running into, and quite honestly, he didn't run into him.
No, he certainly did not. And so let's go sideline to Scott Leo. Scott?
Well, you guys are echoing the sentiments of this St. Xavier coaching staff. Steve Speck's telling the official, not only did he not touch him, the punter wasn't affected in any way. He had his hand up trying to get a piece of it.
Yeah, well, at least for St. X, I mean, they're going to re-kick it. So from that standpoint, but he didn't touch it.
So Jacob Rogan will get another crack at it. He averages 36.8 every time he kicks it. Steve Speck certainly wants this football back so he can get another crack at it here with it.
I understand the frustration there, but the bottom line is they're going to punt it again. So you're still going to get the football. It really doesn't change the complexion of the game.
It was Rio.
Line drive. And this one is going to bounce inside the 10 down to the 3-yard line. And Moeller has pinned St. X deep in their own territory with just 47 seconds left to go here in this first half. Let's go back to the sidelines to Scott with more on Crable and that connection with Pankey.
Well, guys, really, Moeller, as you said, their vertical passing game has been their highlight tonight. And what they're trying to do is catch St. X in blitz situations and be able to pick them up, or do something to get that safety to pull away from the outside receiver. And so when they've gone deep, for example, on the plays for Pankey, they've been able to get that one-on-one situation. If they keep doing that, they obviously feel like they've got a big advantage there.
And I would agree. And they picked up the blitz relatively well. And you're right. I mean, when you've got Houseman and you got Bates.
Replay 4th down.
So they're replaying 4th down because of a hold. So they're going to kick it again.
The play that will never end, Tim.
The Bombers did not want to start at the 3-yard line.
No, and actually this does benefit St. X because you're right. It was the 16 on the first one. Then it would have been the 3, and now we're going to do it all over again.
So Rogan comes back in. By the way, total yards in this game, to Tom's point, how close to the vest is being played. 93 yards for Moeller, 83 yards for St. X, and another line drive kick. And they're going to let this one go, and it will roll to about that 16-yard line.
So we're back to where we started. Tell you what, as weird as that play was, Tim, I'd have told if I was Steve Speck, I'd have said, just whatever you do, don't touch this punt.
And they didn't.
And you're right. I mean, you look at the yardage, and I think this is what everybody would have expected. This is a very typical Moeller St. X game. Close to the vest, good defense. You know, we've had the one big play. Still plenty of time to go, though.
Just 30 seconds left here in this first half, or thereabouts.
So I don't know who, if you're Moeller or St. X, do you feel better about what's happened this first half? I mean, St. X has dominated time of possession. They've dominated the number of plays, but yet they, in theory, unless they're able to score here, might go down 7-0 at halftime.
So Whitrock is going to throw it. He's going to throw it deep, and it is incomplete. Far side. And they will play it again with 26 seconds left. And, you know, I'm not surprised that they're continuing to throw it.
I'm not. However, Tim, not their forte.
No.
I mean, the deep passing game isn't really something that they do. And you know, Steve Speck talked about the number of passes he anticipated throwing. He might be there at halftime.
Yeah. Well, that time they tried to get the ball to Colton Paul, and it was incomplete. And this time they're just going to take a knee and wrap this thing up. And there's 22-20 as the clock rolls here to end the first half. And these two GCL teams slugging it out here at Mason. The venue might be different. It's the playoffs instead of the regular season. There's no trophy going on, but I'll tell you what, right now, these two teams have really come to play, especially defensively here in this first half. We have played 2 quarters of football here in the regional semifinals. It's 7-0 Moeller over St. X, and these two teams are battling tooth and nail, and we're going to go to Scott Leo on the sidelines, and actually he's in the middle of the field, and let's go to Scott.
Well, Coach, how important was it that you guys were able to withstand the storm of that first drive? St. X got the ball. They had it for more than 9 minutes, but you guys didn't let them score. How big was that?
Well, our defense has been doing it all year long, and, they just didn't break that time, so it was huge. I mean, really huge. I thought they did a great job.
And in your vertical passing game, it looks like you guys are taking some chances. Obviously, the one big play sets you up for the touchdown.
Yeah, we think we're going to have to take a chance going vertical because our run game's slow right now. We're going to have to get that fixed.
All right, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Scott. John Rodenbaugh playing it close to the vest here tonight, but he's taken some shots when he needs them. And the Moeller Crusaders have won the last 2 state championships. They lead at the halftime, 7-0 over St. X.
My name is Joe Qualls. I work at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. I graduated with a degree in biology. Even though I was going to get an amazing education here, it was going to be an amazing education that was focused on faith, which I believe we all need in order to have a true, well-rounded education. It's a friendly environment, really the central focus on God, and I think that that's really what makes it what it is. Well, Thomas More College is a part of my life. Without that part, I wouldn't be whole.
Looking for an easy way to buy your next car? Come to Joseph Toyota on Colerain. Just off the Reagan Highway, Joseph Toyota is minutes from anywhere in the tri-state. Getting here is easy, and getting a great deal is even easier. Our friendly, knowledgeable sales staff will make sure buying your next car is a pleasure. That's the Joseph way. Now through December 1st, lease the bold new 2015 Camry for just $245 a month with 0 down at Joseph Toyota on Colerain.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. I have so many fantastic memories of playing for the Buckeyes in one of the greatest football stadiums in the country, Ohio Stadium. Now I'm inviting you to the shoe to watch the best high school teams in Ohio live their dreams during the OHSAA Football State Championships. It's the pinnacle of the high school football season, and 7 state championship games are waiting for you. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history.
To order tickets, call 1-800-745-3000 or go to Ticketmaster.com.
Come out and celebrate the official start of the high school basketball season. Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. Join me Saturday, December 6th for the 3rd annual Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, presented by CareSource and McDonald's. This year, it's all about the rematch. We're giving some of the top boys and girls teams in Ohio another shot at each other. And it's all to support the great work being done by these fine charities and organizations. The Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, December 6th at Ohio Dominican University.
Thanks the ball carrier.
It's halftime in Mason, where 2 longtime rivals are doing battle. This time, though, there's more than pride on the line. Either St. X or Moeller will be moving on to the Region 2 championship game. Welcome into our Columbus studio and the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel halftime report. I'm Aaron Goldstein. Well, it's just the regional semifinals in Division 1. Last night, 16 other regions crowned their champions, meaning those teams are only 2 wins away from a state title. Before this season, the LaSalle Lancers had never won a playoff game, but now they're Region 6 champions. Led by their 2 dynamic running backs, LaSalle ran away with a 38-6 win over Mount Healthy. Jeremy Larkin led the way with 265 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, while sophomore Jarrell White carried for 133 yards and 3 scores. LaSalle now moves on to the state semifinals, where it will take on Olentangy. The Braves remained undefeated last night with a 41-29 win over Dublin Scioto.
On the other side of the bracket, it will be a battle of number 2 seeds as Mayfield faces off against Nordonia. In Division 3, the reigning champs from St. Vincent St. Mary are still alive after a 26-23 win over top-seeded Hubbard. They'll face the high-powered offense out of Athens. Last night, Ohio State recruit Joe Burrow had 437 yards of total offense and 6 touchdowns as the Bulldogs beat St. Francis de Sales 52-20. The drama of the night came on the other side of the D3 bracket, where Trotwood Madison needed 4 overtimes to beat Wapakoneta. The Rams will face Toledo Central Catholic next Friday night. In Division 4, there will be a new champion as Kettering Alter used its strong defense to avenge its loss to Clinton Massey from a year ago. Dean Lemon led the way defensively, causing a fumble and recovering it. That led to a 41-yard touchdown pass by Dusty Hayes just before the half. The Knights cruised to a 35-7 win. Alter will face Kenton next week in the state Final Four. Meanwhile, the other matchup features 12-1 Benedictine against 10-3 Steubenville, with the winner moving on to Columbus. And in Division 6, unbeaten Kirtland is the regional champ out of Region 19. It will face Lucasville Valley. The winner of that game will get either Tenora or Minster on December 4th or 5th at Ohio Stadium.
The goal for all those teams is to make it to the Horseshoe less than 2 weeks from now. Here's the schedule for the state championship games. It starts December 4th with 1 game, then 3 more games on Friday, 3 more on Saturday. Remember to go to Ticketmaster.com to buy your all-session ticket package. Well, Moeller knows a thing or two about winning state titles. They're the reigning back-to-back champs in Division 1. Up next, we'll introduce you to a former Crusader who helped them win 3 state crowns. And now his son is aiming for a similar achievement. That's next as the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel Halftime Report continues.
Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is looking for this football season's Play of the Year. Every Monday, we post the top plays from our games of the week on TWCSportsChannel.com. Place your vote. Share your favorite. Weekly winners will battle it out at the end of the season, and when the dust settles, we'll crown a champion. The winning school will receive a $1,000 donation to its athletic program. Go to TWCSportsChannel.com for complete rules and information. The Time Warner Cable Sports Channel Play of the Year. From the television home of high school sports.
It's not always easy. Training for the big game, a time to hit the books, a time to hit the field. We do it because we love it. This is high school football. We'll be ready. Will you?
Brought to you by Tom Raper RVs in Columbus, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana, or online at tomraper.com.
This is a family-owned business, and they treat me like family, and they treat my customers like family.
You need help with something, they're there on work or off work hours.
It feels like home here.
Everybody just works together like family.
Our employees are family, and so are our customers. If your home needs new windows, become part of the Gilkey family. Save $1,500 when you purchase a whole house of windows and receive no interest for 12 months. Call or visit us online today.
Hi, I'm Beanie Wells. I have so many fantastic memories playing for the Buckeyes in one of the greatest football stadiums in the country, Ohio Stadium. Now I'm inviting you to the Shoe to watch the best high school teams in Ohio live out their dreams during the OHSAA Football State Championships. It's the pinnacle of the high school football season, and 7 state championship games are waiting for you. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history.
To order tickets, call 1-800-745-3000 or go to Ticketmaster.com.
Come out and celebrate the official start of the high school basketball season. Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. Join me Saturday, December 6th for the 3rd annual Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, presented by CareSource and McDonald's. This year, it's all about the rematch. We're giving some of the top boys and girls teams in Ohio another shot at each other. And it's all to support the great work being done by these fine charities and organizations. The Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, December 6th at Ohio Dominican University.
"24 minutes down, another 24 minutes to go in Mason. It's as big of a rivalry as there is in the state of Ohio. St. X and Moeller battling for the right to play either Wayne or Lakota West in the Region 2 championship game. But when it comes to notable alumni, it's hard to beat the list that Archbishop Moeller puts out there. Guys like Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Larkin once roamed the halls there. So did House Speaker John Boehner. Football-wise, the name that jumps out is Bob Crable, a legend who played for and coached the Crusaders. But as Marissa Contapelli found out, now it's his son Matt's turn to create his own legacy.
Football tradition runs deep at Moeller High School. The season marks their 33rd trip to the playoffs, and the Crusaders have 9 state titles under their belt. But for the Crable family, Moeller football means just a little bit more.
It's been an incredible influence in my life, but Moeller is much bigger than even football. You know, it's that whole family.
This is home for us. My brother going here too, my brother playing here. I mean, I've been around here my whole life.
The former Moeller All-American and coach Bob Crable has helped shape his son into the player Moeller has needed and relied on this season.
It's a nice weapon now. I mean, anything I need football-wise, I have one of the greatest minds to get to, so it's very helpful for me.
There's something a little bit different when you're a head coach's son because you understand the pressure, you understand the little nuances that go into running a program, and Bob's done a great job with Matt. I mean, Matt's very prepared, Matt's very calm.
From watching film together to talking about his playing days, Bob is willing and eager to help Matt whenever and however he can.
And I talked with Coach Rodenberg before the year and said, look, you know, I need to know some of the things that you're doing because, you know, whether you like it or not, I'm going to coach him during the season.
Something Bob and Matt can't shy away from is their last name. The word Crable goes a long way in the Moeller community.
It's had some good and the bad. You know, the bad, a few weeks ago, he said, Dad, why is it that every time my name is mentioned in the paper that they have your name in parentheses behind it? And I said, son, that's one of the bad parts of, you know, developing your own identity, is someone before you, you know, with the same name has helped to shape it a little bit.
It's something where I want to create my own legacy. I don't want to just my legacy to be my dad's. So I want to have something for myself. So when I come back here, they say, "Oh, that's Matt Crable, not Bob Crable's son."
He'll go down as one of the stronger leaders that have been here, not just from a standpoint of football, but you know, being involved in the house system here, and he's one of the group the mentor leaders.
However, Bob doesn't let his past overlook the bigger picture.
You know, Moeller is Moeller, and Moeller will always continue to be Moeller. You know, and it's much greater than Bob Crable or Matt Crable or anyone who's gone here in the past.
As Matt continues to add to his legacy at Moeller this November, Bob will be right there supporting his son on and off the field. Marissa Contapelli, Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
The relationship between father and son certainly extends off the field as well. In fact, just a couple days ago, Bob and Matt were walking the runway, taking part in a fashion show together. Back on the field, St. X and Moeller isn't the only regular season rematch that is taking place tonight. We get you ready for Wayne and Lakota West when the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel halftime report rolls on.
The best part of being apart is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Prepare your son for success in high school.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Weeknights. Ohio's veteran voice of truth and reason opens up.
This'll change everything.
Unloads.
What are we supposed to do now?
And you'll see. The day's biggest sports moments. Ohio's top sports guests. All from
best part of being a part is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Start of the high school basketball season. Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. Join me Saturday, December 6th for the 3rd annual Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, presented by CareSource and McDonald's. This year, it's all about the rematch. We're giving some of the top boys and girls teams in Ohio another shot at each other. And it's all to support the great work being done by these fine charities and organizations. The Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, December 6th at Ohio Dominican University.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. I have so many fantastic memories of playing for the Buckeyes in one of the greatest football stadiums in the country, Ohio Stadium. Now I'm inviting you to the shoe to watch the best high school teams in Ohio live their dreams during the OHSAA Football State Championships. It's the pinnacle of the high school football season, and 7 state championship games are waiting for you. Don't miss your chance to be a part of history.
To order tickets, call 1-800-745-3000 or go to Ticketmaster.com.
It's an all-new season of Fantasy Huddle. Join host Chris Goff, analysts Soren Petro and Dave Nielsen as they bring solid projections for 2014. More stats, more knowledge, more up-to-date information so you wind up in the win column. Reporter Katie Falco has your injury reports. We'll answer your tweets and say who to stash and who to trash. It's Fantasy Huddle.
The story of the Region 2 playoffs so far has been Lakota West. The Firebirds became the first 16 seed to win a playoff game when they knocked off number 1 Centerville 2 weeks ago. Then they took down rival Lakota East last week. Tonight, they face off against 5th-seeded Huber Heights Wayne. The Warriors won the Week 3 regular season matchup 34-29. When X and Moeller are done, you can watch the playoff rematch right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. We are getting closer to the second half in Mason. Let's get you back to the field and rejoin Tim and Tom.
All right, thank you, Aaron. And certainly here at the half, it is 7-0 Archbishop Moeller over the St. Xavier Bombers. A very tightly played defensive battle here in the first half of this one. Friday night, we announced last week's winner in our Play of the Year contest. Congratulations to Glen Oak, who moves on to face the other weekly winners at the end of the season. Visit TimeWarnerCableSportsChannel.com on Monday to see which plays from this game are selected and vote in time for Time Warner Cable Sports Channel's Play of the Year contest. Don't forget to do it. Voting closes every Friday at 2:30. All right, let's take a look at the highlights of the first half. And certainly the St. X Bombers put on a show early on. Frick catches this pass, a beautiful throw and catch, but a 18-play drive stops, Tom, and they needed points out of that one.
Well, they did. I mean, when you're converting first downs, you would think, because here comes Moeller, 42 yards. Matt Crable to Chase Pankey, takes him down inside the 15, and then a big throw. He rolls left and hits the tight end, Jake Hausman. That's the lone scorer of the game. So when you really look at it, it's 7-0 Moeller, but St. X has run 33 plays, Tim, for 83 yards.
They're not getting anything after the catch, and to be honest about it, time of possession in favor of St. X, 16-14 to 7:46. And on fourth down, St. X has had to extend the drives 4 times, and they've only converted a couple of times in the ballgame. But Jake Hausman has caught the lone touchdown pass. That is his 4th of the season. He's first team Southwest District, only a junior, and a pretty good player. But this is a defensive game, typical of Moeller St. X, no question about that. All right, we will be back with the third quarter when we return to Mason in just a moment. The Crusaders lead by a touchdown at the half.
best part of being a part is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Around here, we all know a Buckeye in your pocket is lucky, so we're still working overtime to make sure everyone has a Buckeye when they come to Miami Valley Gaming. In fact, business has been so good, we moved the entire operation to the gaming floor. Richard, our head of Buckeye Pocket Control, has been checking everyone's pockets to make sure everyone is lucky. We think it's going well.
The best part of being a part is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is your television home for Columbus Crew SC. From timeless moments and the Crew score to big events and exclusive shows and interviews. Now, as fans in the club look ahead to next season, we'll be there with the latest Crew access, analysis, and more. Congratulations to Columbus Crew SC on a thrilling season. Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, the television home of Columbus Crew SC.
Come out and celebrate the official start of the high school basketball season. Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. Join me Saturday, December 6th for the 3rd annual Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, presented by CareSource and McDonald's. This year, it's all about the rematch. We're giving some of the top boys and girls teams in Ohio another shot at each other. And it's all to support the great work being done by these fine charities and organizations. The Clark Kellogg Tip-Off Classic, December 6th at Ohio Dominican University.
Time Warner Cable Sports Channel breaks down the week in Ohio college athletics. College Game Time Ohio. Thursday nights at 10. Join Greg Miller and get exclusive access.
I think the biggest ones come on defense where they haven't been able to stop anybody.
More depth and top analysis on the teams, players, and schools that matter most to you. College Game Time Ohio. Thursday nights at 10. Only on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
High school football on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel is presented by your Central Ohio Honda dealers. Find your next new Honda online at centralohiohondadealers.com. By Meyer, top brands at low prices. Shop today and save. And by Tom Raper RVs in Columbus, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana. It's the 2014 Ohio High School Athletic Association Football Playoffs on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Regional semifinal here at Mason, and it's 7-0 Moeller over the St. X Bombers as we get set for the second half of this one. And these two teams have battled it out defensively for 2 quarters, and neither team really has had the upper hand. A big 42-yard throw by Moeller set up the only touchdown. And Tom, where do you see this game heading in the second half?
Well, Tim, I mean, it's much like the first game. It was 10-7 Moeller in the first meeting at St. Xavier back in September. You're going to see more of the same from both. I think Moeller's going to try that vertical passing game. They get the ball first here with the opening kickoff. And I was kind of surprised, to be honest, that St. X took the opening kickoff.
Let's go to the sidelines. Here's Scott.
Well, guys, I just talked to Steve Specht as he was making his way back out of the locker room, and he agreed that it was very disappointing for them to have the ball for better than 9 minutes on that first possession and then not come away with any points. He said, we came out with a lot of emotion. We were winning the line of scrimmage. It was disappointing they didn't score, but he said now we've got to try and stretch their defense because Moeller's really starting to pack some guys in the box and play that run.
So Matt Crable looking to the sideline from the 20-yard line, and it is first down and 10 as we get started here in the third quarter. They'll bring the trips to the near sideline, and they'll hand off inside, and that is Hughes, Hunter Hughes, with the carry out to about the 24-yard line. Will be second down and a long 6.
And really, we've talked about it, Tim. Neither team able to do much offensively in the first half. I mean, Moeller only had 4 first downs. They rushed it 10 times for 22 yards. And you heard John Rodenberg going to the half saying, we've got to get our running game fixed.
So Moeller will keep Hughes in the backfield on second down and 6. They mark it at the 24-yard line. 4 down linemen for the Bombers this time. And Crable to throw. Still looking. Gonna air it out. Double coverage, and it is incomplete. That was a little bit underthrown as they tried to get it to Kyle Butts at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, they try to spread it around. Good coverage there by St. X. And the one thing for St. X, Tim, is you can't give up another score. I mean, when you've had the domination in time of possession, number of plays, but yet you haven't scored, the last thing you can do is get behind by more than one score. Big third down here.
3rd and 6. Twins to the near sideline, and Crable gonna run it himself. 25, and he's cut down, and he will not get it. He will not get it as the Bombers, Griffin Busick, makes a big play.
Great open field tackle here because Matt Crable literally just needed to evade here, and he would have picked up the first down. But, man, what a great one-on-one tackle right there, and St. X is going to get the ball.
Fair catch at the 36-yard line. And that's where the Bombers will get it, 1st and 10. This will be their first series of the third quarter.
You know, when we talked to both coaches, Tim, especially Steve Specht, he said, look, execution and mistakes. Neither team has turned the ball over yet. And don't forget, Moeller did not score an offensive touchdown in the regular season win, 13-7.
10:41 to go here in the third quarter. First time that Steve Specht's team has a chance to take the football here in the third quarter. They'll throw it, and they get Frick out there one-on-one, makes a nice cut. He's out across the 40-yard line to the 42. That's where he'll be dropped, and it'll be a short play on second down. Frick can throw it or catch it, and obviously he can run it too.
Yeah, they use him in the slot, and he's a guy who can kind of a scat back, who can make people miss. Again, he was second team GCL South as an athlete, and you can see him there. And once again, St. X on schedule. St. X, you know, they've moved the ball. They just need to convert.
Second and short, and Glines will take it to the stripe at the 45, but he's going to be a yard short.
Moeller defense just doesn't give in.
I'll tell you what, that front four has been there all night long. Elijah Taylor made a huge play on this one.
Well, Tim, let's not forget how good this St. X offensive line's been playing. I mean, you go back to that game, the first 2 times these teams met. Since then, St. X has won 7 straight. The reason? Running the football behind the big offensive line.
Trips coming to the near side. Frick in the slot. Third down. And he's not going to get there. Glines got right to the line of scrimmage, and that was it. Nowhere to go. Daniel Shirk makes a big play. He was in the backfield almost before the handoff.
When I go back to the first meeting, Moeller spent the majority of that night in the St. X backfield. Look at the push here. I mean, you got 3 guys ready to tackle Glines.
Stofko was right there as well, and Moeller get the football back on 4th down and 1 from the 45-yard line, and the Bombers will have to kick it away. And they fake it, and they get the first down. A fake punt, and that is a first down. And that is an impressive play by St. X, and what an effort on special teams. They needed to pull something out, and that is Griffin Hargis who made the play. Griffin Hargis.
Great call. You need something. You got to have momentum. You can't get it on 3rd down and 1. They get in the backfield, so you fake the punt, you set yourself up. But now the bottom line here is St. X has to convert this into a touchdown.
Glines will run it himself right out of that wildcat. I think they're going to go to some of this. We did not see that in the first half.
No, we didn't. And last week they went out right away. They picked up an early turnover against Colerain and sent Ben Glines in the wildcat formation inside the Colerain 20 and pretty much just smashed it into the end zone. So you probably are. St. X, obviously, look, if you're Steve Speck and you're the Bombers coaching staff, you got to throw caution to the wind now. You got to try some different things, and the fake punt's one of them, and you'll probably see some more wildcat in the second half.
Barlin all the way to the near sideline, and Whitrock's going to throw, and he'll throw underneath, and that's Frick at the 40, down the sidelines, and he will get a first down inside Moeller territory at the 33-yard line.
It's amazing, Tim, momentum. It's amazing when you call a play like that and you show your team you believe in them, you think you can pick up the first down on a fake punt, and right here, Whitrock looking at it, and Ronnie Frick has been a real big player in this game, and they're getting him on the edge, picking up another first down, and St. X is in great position here in the second half to maybe tie the game.
Good effort right there by Frick. And that is his 4th catch on the night. Single back, they load up the box, 8 in the box, and they give it to McFarland, breaks a tackle, and he will not get outside. And Taylor rode him to the turf right at the 33-yard line.
I mean, Tim, you almost had guys offside. They're so anxious to get in that St. X backfield. I mean, they're crashing the line of scrimmage. He gets by the first guy, but there's Elijah Taylor, as you mentioned, and just the closing speed. You know, these guys, Taylor's a big dude. Not all the other guys on Moeller. The linebackers are decent size, but they're not massive guys. And you mentioned the secondary guys earlier. Not that big, but what they do is they get to the football. They swarm. They don't miss tackles.
Put a man in motion, that's Frick, and they will run, and that is an incomplete pass. They tried to get the ball to Colton Paul out there on a bubble screen, and he dropped it.
But you can even see, had he caught this, he's going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage. I mean, there's Moeller guys. Look, 4 guys right there. So the reality, and I think that's why if you're St. X, I know it's not what you customarily do, but you have to start taking, if you can protect Whitrock, I think you got to take a couple of shots down the field because of the fact that Moeller continues to be as aggressive, and this is what they've done all year, and there's a reason why their defense has been so good.
Donnelly and Paul go out to the wide side. Frick's in the slot on the trips on the right, and that's Whitrock to throw. He's got a man open, and it's caught far side all the way down inside the 20-yard line, and that's Matt Donnelly, and he will have a first down, Bombers.
But the key to that, Tim, is pass protection. I mean, the offensive line, you can see it right here. Look at Whitrock. I mean, while he's normally under duress, right there he had plenty of time. The receiver in that case, Donnelly, wide open, and they pick up another first down. This is an impressive drive, but the pass protection right there made it possible for Whitrock to connect with Donnelly.
Hayes was the player in the area for the Crusaders, but I don't know. I think Big Mo blew a coverage.
Well, they might have, but they also didn't get much pressure on the quarterback, and that's something that they've been doing the entire night.
All right, we're down to the 16-yard line. St. X with the ball. Moeller on defense, 6:42 to go here in the third quarter, and the Crusaders lead at 7-0. Offset I in the backfield. Whitrock under center this time, and he is going to get slammed to the turf. Nobody touched Jack Meyer. He was in the backfield immediately. Wow, that's all the way back to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that's a massive loss, and you're right. He pretty much fought off untouched. I mean, right there, Whitrock didn't have a chance, and as good as the protection was on the play that got him the first down, it was as bad right there. But this is what Moeller does on defense. You move the football, but yet when you get down where you're really ready to maybe take a shot or punch one in, they come up with a big play, and that's a huge loss right there. And this is not the type of circumstance that St. X wants to find itself in. Second down and 20 to go.
Crusaders had 34 sacks coming into this ball game. And Whitrock on play action is going to half roll it. He's got company. Will throw near side, incomplete. Tried to get Davis.
Yeah, good idea by Whitrock there, scrambling to the right. I mean, Davis along the boundary there, a big tight end, a guy who's going to be a tremendous player, obviously, just a junior.
Well, he was coming right into our living room.
And you see Davis is open there. Ball floated a little bit if he'd have thrown it more direct. But again, if you're Whitrock too, you also have to factor in that you're running on almost virtually every play away from the pursuing Moeller defenders.
Miles Hayes has been on a bunch of tackles tonight, and he's been everywhere. Here comes a slant back to Glines. He took the inside route, and that was not the right play. If he takes it outside, he's still running. But he ran right into the teeth of the defense of the Crusaders, and now it's 4th down.
Tim, it's got to look for St. X, even on this play, like there's 15 guys on the field for Moeller. Now, you're right. If he gets outside, he's got a much better chance. He cuts it back in, and there's 4 Moeller defenders right there.
So, from the 33-yard line, Miles Holman is going to try a field goal. 4:56 to go in the third. A lot of length on that one, and it is no good wide right. So the 42-yard field goal, actually 43-yard field goal, goes wide right, and the score remains Moeller 7 and St. Xavier nothing.
Yeah, and once again, no points. I mean, you know, you have to come away. They were set up until they had that sack by Jack Meyer that really dropped them 10 yards back, and then it got them off schedule, and the kick had the distance, just went wide right. Think about this, Tim. This is the 11th postseason quarter for Moeller, and they've given up 20 points. That's pretty impressive.
Today's football, that's huge.
I mean, Moeller's done virtually, with the exception of the long pass to Pankey from Crable, they've done virtually nothing on offense.
And that's a credit to the Bomber defense.
No question.
And that's...
Well, you have 2 great defenses slugging it out.
That's GCL football.
It is.
I don't know about that. Here's Hughes taking it outside, and not much room at all.
It's funny you mention that about GCL football, because everybody sees LaSalle at the Division II level. They see Nick Watson and Jeremy Larkin and Jarrell White. They're putting up unbelievable numbers. But LaSalle's defense is really, really good, too. I mean, that's the difference. Look at the time of possession here again, Tim. I mean, staggering. 22 minutes to 9. Advantage St. X. 7-0 Moeller.
John Rodenberg has got just an unbelievable, talented football team, and so does Steve Speck. And here's Crable, and he is cut down at the line of scrimmage. Steve Speck just... I think he's done just a terrific job. I mean, he's juggled so many different quarterbacks. He named it. Well, he had to use his right hand after he filled up his left hand.
He did have to name them out loud so he could come make sure he didn't miss anybody.
Yeah, because we asked him before the game just how many guys have played quarterback tonight or this year. 7. So it's a 3rd down and a big play for both of these teams as Crable comes out, and he will throw to the near sideline, and it is complete. Complete to the near sideline to Doug Bates, the senior, 6'4", 240, his 17th catch of the year.
Yeah, he had a couple touchdown receptions last week. You know, Hausman's gotten most of the media attention, if you will, but Bates is going to the University of Cincinnati. He's committed to the Bearcats, and he's come up with some big plays for Moeller. Big first down there, too.
3:22 to go in the third. Crable adjusting at the line of scrimmage. He's got 2 tights in the ball game. And a H-back in motion. They'll hand it off to Hughes, and Hunter Hughes is out across the 40.
That's his second best run of the night.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Tim, one thing, I think time of possession is very misleading.
Oh.
Unless you're wearing down the opposition and it takes a toll late in the game, then it means something. But to me, if you just churn yards and you keep the football but you don't score points, it's pretty irrelevant. You mentioned the job Steve Speck's on. Both these coaches have done a great job this year.
Oh, they've had injuries. I mean, think of it. Hughes is a sophomore, and he was playing junior varsity, dressing varsity, and because of the injuries in the backfield, he's forced into action. And what does he do in the playoffs? All he does in the playoffs is have back-to-back 100-yard games.
Well, now here you go, a second straight carry by Hunter Hughes, and now Moeller starting to get a little bit more push on its offensive line, running the football. John Rodenberg talked about that going into halftime, needing to run the ball better in the second half.
Moeller 9-3. They got a share of the GCL championship. St. X has won 7 in a row coming into this one. And here is the pump and go. They're going deep, single coverage, and there's flags all over the field across the way as they tried to go deep on that play. And Pankey drew the foul. So there's no question that when they see single coverage, they move the safety to the middle. It's an adjustment, and that pump and go for Matt Crable is there.
Interference. Number 22, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Not a spot foul in high school, but still 15 yards, and you can see the pump fake there. Matt Crable sells it, and then he tries to hook up again with Chase Pankey, and they're going to get, yeah, I mean, it's face guarding. When you don't look back at the football, you're going to get pretty much called on it every time.
And Sean Edwards,
who's a tremendous defensive back, by the way.
Yes, he is, but he's got to turn around on that, and he'll learn from that. He'll do it the next time. First down and 10 from the 39-yard line. 4-man line this time. 2 linebackers in the box, and Hughes gets through there, and he is out of and down to the 35-yard line. We'll see where his knee touched, and it was right up to 35.
Yeah, getting a little more push, Tim. I think on the last, he's run pretty much picked up 5 yards or a little bit more than that on the last 3 possessions, and they're able to take the shots better when you can run the football a little bit.
Second down and 6 from the 35.
St. X defense has played great. They cannot afford to give up points of any kind when you're looking at almost being at the end of the third quarter.
They'll go to Hughes again, and he spins to the 31, and the Bombers are all over that, and looks like Speck's in there, and also and Payne as well.
Hayden Speck, Steve's son, has had a tremendous year for the Bombers as well. And St. X's defense has played tremendous again tonight. And this is where, Tim, you got to look at Matt Coughlin. The guy's 12 of 18 in field goals, kicked 2 of them, including a 47-yarder.
That's their first time out
in the first meeting. I mean, Coughlin's a real weapon, because even if you don't pick up a first down and you attempt a field goal and you go up 10-0, I mean, St. X hasn't scored yet. That would put it where they'd have to score 2 times in a quarter.
Let's go to the sideline. Here's Scott.
Well, guys, we talked at the beginning of the game about that St. X drive where they had the ball for most of the quarter and did not score. Here in the second half, they get inside Moeller territory. They miss the field goal. They don't come away with any points. And against a defense like Moeller's, you just wonder how many chances you're going to get. If you don't capitalize on those, time's going to run out on you.
Yeah, Scott, I think that's a great point. I mean, I really do. And if you go back to the first meeting, and we're using that as a point of reference here, I think St. X, when you watch a tape, you go, wait a minute, we didn't give up an offensive touchdown to Moeller, and we lost. I mean, that, because they made a couple key, they committed a turnover that was returned 19 yards by Chad Campbell for a touchdown. It set up a 37-yard Matt Coughlin field goal. So, St. X has got to be going right now, man, we should be winning this game.
Moeller in the playoffs on third down, 56% of the time they convert.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty doggone good. I mean, in the regular season, they were at 34%. Crable out of the gun. And he is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. What an effort by the Bombers. They crash the middle, and they stop the Bombers right there. And that was Carter Raleigh, defensive linebacker, was right there on top of Matt Crable.
Yeah, Crable goes down, and really now you're kind of in that distance, and here you go. Here's Matt Coughlin. He kicked a 37-yarder and a 47-yarder the first time they met this from 50.
Low snap. Lot of leg, but it is wide right. It just went outside the crossbar and the upright. But a great effort by Matt Coughlin to try to get that
Yeah, here's
through the
another look
uprights.
at it, Tim, and really, oh man, it was going straight. Look at that.
Just did not quite make it. And so he's got a big leg, and he'll get stronger as he continues on his career. But that one just simply not enough. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bombers at their own 20-yard line. And last time they were stopped on downs. They get another crack.
12 and 19 now. Coughlin on the year, still pretty darn effective.
And one thing about that kick, it was into the wind, and the wind has definitely picked up.
No question.
Wildcat Glines can't get to the line. The Bombers cannot get to the line of scrimmage as the Crusaders are all over it again.
I'll tell you what, Moeller just feeds off it, don't they? I mean, as the game wears on, and here you go again, there's just simply nowhere to run. And I tell you, Elijah Taylor has played a big game tonight. He's been in on a ton of plays. He's been in the St. X backfield in many cases more than some of the St. X guys.
Stopko in there as well, making the play. And we have hit the end of 3 quarters here at Mason, Ohio, at Atrium Stadium. This is a Division I regional semifinal, right to go to the state. Crusaders lead by a touchdown with 1 quarter to go.
The best part of being apart is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Prepare your son for success in high school, college, and beyond. Moeller High School engages him with rigorous academics, personal mentoring, and a strong faith-based community. At Moeller, we give your son the tools he needs to succeed with technology fully integrated into his educational experience. At Moeller, we create momentum for life.
The best part of being apart is getting back together. Your true love is back. The McRib, only from McDonald's.
Save smarter and shop smarter with M-Perks from Meijer. Get rewarded for your everyday shopping with savings, clip digital coupons, and redeem in store. Plus, you can track your savings, make shopping lists, and more. Signing up is easy and free at mperks.com. We're set to go to the 4th quarter here, and Mason, Ohio, 7-0 is the score. Moeller with the lead. Crable has gone 7 out of 10 for 79 yards. Total offense for the Crusaders, 132 yards. St. X 121, and Whitrock is 9 out of 16 for 55 yards in the football game. They'll screen it right, and Glines cannot control it. And right there on coverage was Daniel Schur.
Well, not only on coverage, Tim, but I mean right there is Whitrock. You know, you're setting up a screen, but he's backpedaling, trying to evade a rush. And again, you can see it here. I mean, and Taylor kind of waiting in the wings, and they've got it covered pretty well. You know, Moeller just makes it difficult to do pretty much anything offensively, especially in the passing game, because they're so aggressive. They stack the line of scrimmage. They use just blitzes. I mean, it's that Michigan State aggressive Pat Narduzzi kind of defense, and it's working wonders for Moeller this year.
And it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. There was nothing there. I mean, they are all over it and in the backfield before you can even blink. And Shirk that time made his 2nd consecutive play.
Well, you can just see they get in that passing lane, they get the big arm up, and you know, the one thing they're able to do is they're able to rotate 4 and 5 guys in. There's depth on that defensive front, and that makes it much easier, too, because you got guys who are fresh. Even though St. X has run as many plays as it has, 46 of them going into this quarter. Now 49 plays have been run by the Bombers. but you'd never know it. I mean, Moeller still looks fresh. I mean, St. X has got a chance in this game, Tim, to run 60-plus plays, and they may not score a point.
So they'll boot it away. Good hang time this time.
Good punt.
And they'll return it down the sidelines. And a little bit of room for the Moeller Crusaders. And they bring it back there to inside St. X territory. So it'll be 1st and 10. Flag on the play.
Usually an illegal block. Nope.
And it's a personal foul against the St. X Bombers, and that is a big one.
Well, that'll move it down. And really, if you get one more score from Moeller of any kind, be it a field goal or a touchdown.
Steve Speck getting the explanation.
Dead ball, personal foul. Number 84, blue. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
There's been a couple of those in this football game.
And we'll get a look at it coming at you right here. Oh boy, I don't know about that. That's pretty weak. I mean, I'll give you, he might have piled on a little late, but he piled on his own dude. Well, what great field position here, Tim. I mean, Moeller at the 33.
Paul had a good shot at it. Here's Crable down the field, and it is low, incomplete at the 10-yard line. A little bit underthrown.
Yeah.
Yep. They tried to get that ball out of the pancake, but not quite there.
Tough one, pretty good, darn good coverage by the Bombers there, but if it's a little bit higher, that's probably a completed pass.
One more look at it.
Yep. And we talked, that's Rashawn Edwards on the coverage right there, doing a nice job.
So they'll throw it again to the outside and down the sideline, and a beautiful run after the catch. And my goodness, that's Kyle Butts all the way down inside the 10 or 15-yard line. They're going to mark this on the 13. What a great play. And it was just a little screen. Butts
nice
did the
block.
rest.
Yeah, he did. He got outside and put Moeller in prime position. Now, you know, John Rodenberg talked about Kyle Butts. Not the biggest guy, but a guy who you can really count on. He's been reliable all year for the Crusaders. And St. X has got to come up with a stop here, Tim, somehow, somewhere.
Ball at the 13-yard line. They'll run it. Hughes may have got back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more than that.
But really, if I'm Moeller here, Matt Coughlin, as accurate as he is, especially from this short of a distance, I don't want to take too many chances, because if you can kick a field goal here, you put St. X in a real difficult position, down 2 scores with, at the time, it'd probably be less than 11 minutes in the game.
And wind at your back, too. Here's Crable. Going to pull it down. It's got some space to run, and he is inside the 5 to the 3 and very close to a 1st down.
A nice decision. You know, John Rodenberg talked about Matt Crable, and we had the halftime feature on he and his dad, Bob, and kind of the lineage there, and he makes good decisions, and this is one of them. Pulls it in, runs, sees a little gap and straight ahead and takes it forward. He doesn't make mistakes. He's had very few games this year where he's made critical mistakes.
The gun on 1st down and goal, and Hughes will take it in and score. The Crusaders have tacked on another one. Touchdown, Moeller.
Great momentum, big surge by the Moeller offensive front. Hunter Hughes, who's been the guy running the football in the postseason for Moeller, didn't carry it once during the regular season, dressed for varsity, but primarily played JV. He gets a key touchdown, 13-0, pending the extra point here, could be 14. And boy, Moeller just, it's unbelievable what they're able to do. It really is.
They have righted the ship. After a horrible October, they have come back with a vengeance, and it is 14-0 Crusaders. And Hunter Hughes, a 5'11", 175-pound sophomore, gets it done.
Well, he gets it done because look at that hole. And he gets by Simeon Lane. Tim, I think I could have even run through that hole. And believe me, they're shaking their head no, maybe not. I would have given it my best, right? I got to tell you, though, you know, Tim, everybody in John Rodenberg talks, and there it is one more time. Look at that surge by the line and Hunter Hughes. And Moeller, while the numbers at the end of the game in the rushing department aren't going to look great, in the second half they've run the ball much better. Much better. Gotten a better surge. And you got to wonder now if you're St. X, it's that Moeller defense is such an albatross. And, you know, Tim, everybody talks, including you, kind of alluded to it about that October. But let's not forget who they play.
Yep, that's very true.
You know, LaSalle, St. Ed's, and St. Ian. Well, St. Ian, St. Ed's in that order. And then they also beat Elder. And they lost 3 of 4. But I'm telling you, it's a good Moeller football team right now.
It's returnable from the 8-yard line. And the Bombers will have excellent field position. They take it all the way out to the 40. And let's go to Scott.
Guys, before the game, we were talking to John Rodenberg about his team, and he said one of the reasons we've won the state championship the last couple of years is because we've survived, meaning they've stayed healthy. But there's more to it than that. This Moeller team does not make late-game mistakes. They don't allow opponents to come back against them. Listen to this stat. Since 2008, when Moeller is leading or tied going into the fourth quarter, they're 65-2. And that's against tremendous competition. They just don't make mistakes when the game's on the line.
Wow. Yeah, I would say that doesn't bode well for St. Xavier right now. That's incredible now.
So the Bombers will have to get something out of this drive with 10:25 to go in the ball game. Whitrock will throw it over the middle, and it is going to be caught. Wow.
That's a great catch.
Double coverage and everything else, and that is a big time play by Jack Toome. That's the best catch of the night.
Yeah, that was they got to get the ball down the field. They got to score quickly.
Well, he was second or third progression here and into double coverage.
Great catch.
Oh my. Whitrock to throw again near sideline, and it is incomplete. Right on the sideline. Good coverage over here on the near sideline. Mark McFarland was the intended receiver.
Yeah, Tim, that catch was actually Matt Donnelly again, number 9. No, it's all right. But, I mean, that was a great, they got to get the ball down the field, and I don't know that necessarily that's probably one of those no. Yes, from the stand, because you threw into double coverage. But now St. X, which as we talked to Steve Speck earlier in the week, and he said, we're going to run the football. That's what defines us. But now you got to kind of throw that out. You got to start throwing the football down the field. There's still plenty of time if they can get a touchdown on the board.
Whitrock against the pressure, and that is thrown away. They tried to get it to Glines. They had Frick over there as well.
Well, let's be honest, too, Tim. I mean, you're asking Matt Whitrock, and who I think is going to be a good quarterback, but, I mean, he would not be the guy who would be in this game. This is out of necessity. And, he's 4-0 as a starter, and he beat 4 very, very good teams. But the offensive line, the rushing game, and the St. X defense, now you're all of a sudden saying to Matt Whitrock, we need you to throw the football down the field and score 2 touchdowns in essentially 10 minutes against Moeller's defense.
And they are right on top of the play again. And very quick, he tries to get the ball to the outside and does, but there's no room to run at all. Very, very tough to run anything against this defense. Colton Paul making the catch.
Tim,
on
he
the
barely
ball.
got that off.
Oh, I was surprised.
I mean, and that was a quick, that was just right out to the side. And I'll tell you, Moeller's pressure. And I'm telling you, Elijah Taylor has played a tremendous football game.
Yeah, you can tell he's a big-time recruit going to Notre Dame.
Well, you know what? I mean, in games like this is when big-time recruits are supposed to step up.
Well, you're going to try to win 3 consecutive state championships. 9:20 to go. It's 4th down. Whitrock's going to be sacked in the backfield, and it's Shirk again. Daniel Shirk has played a second half.
He's part of their basically they have a 5-man rotation on the defensive front. And Tim, now this game looks like the first time. I mean, it really, truly does. You've got a quarterback. The first time it was Sean Clifford, who was under constant duress. Tonight it's been Matt Whitrock. And, here you go. Look, I mean, he didn't have 2 seconds to evade that rush. And this is a good St. Xavier offensive line. I mean, this isn't, this is a line that has won 7 straight games for their football team. Now you're forced to go.
So the Crusaders take it at the 42-yard line, and they're going to keep it on the ground. And this is Hughes, and he had a hole to the near sideline and out to the 48. Secondary had to bring him down. And you can see why Hunter Hughes has had those very strong games in the postseason.
When I correct myself there, I got ahead of myself. I thought St. X still had another play. But no, the difference of Hughes, and I think one reason why John Rodenberg went to Hughes is, while Nose and Yet basically split all the carries during the regular season, Hughes is a little bit bigger. And I think he feels like he can get more line push with Hughes than he was with the other two guys.
We got a motion penalty, I think. Line judge comes in and they'll
false start.
Yep, push him back.
66 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
You know, Tim, people might remember Keith Watkins, who's now at Northwestern, who was a running back and who was really kind of a breakaway back. You know, Moeller, that's one thing they haven't had this year is a real breakaway running back.
That is true. I mean, they've got a solid offense that can do a lot of things, but they've been piecing it together.
But a heck of a defense.
The defense is just incredible.
Well, and I think sometimes when people see a score put up by a team that GCL South teams play, they need to look at who the opponent is.
Yeah, good thing. And you think about the defense who's been really strong, and they will throw it out to the far side, and there's Butts again. And Kyle Butts is just pop out, and the ball comes out, and flags fly all over the place. And they're gonna get St. X, I think.
Well, yeah, basically they drove him into the Moeller sideline there.
And that flag is going to be on the Bombers' personal foul. And that'll move it 15 more yards. So you got to keep your composure.
Yeah, well, you can imagine a little bit of frustration here.
Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, they stay with it just a little bit too long. And that is the reason for the penalty. And the penalty yards have been racked up here in this fourth quarter. 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Down to the 37-yard line of St. Xavier. Crable's going to keep it on the ground. Hughes off the right side. Not much running room.
No, but now it's a clock game, too. I mean, you're just winding clock. Tim, I'm going to go back to those 3 losses in 4 weeks. LaSalle put up 34 on Moeller. St. Ignatius 34, but that was all in the first half. Moeller rallied a little bit. And then Lakewood St. Edward put up 24. I mean, those aren't bad numbers, but let's look at the offenses that they're playing against.
St. Ed's.
Speaking of St. Ed's.
Yeah, you were just talking about it. Beat Westerville Central 41-0.
I'm not surprised. I think most people think, and there's the other score, Hudson, a team that, you know, they're undefeated. They win as well, or they're winning, I should say, over Menor rather handedly.
Crable throwing deep, and it's overthrown. Chase Pankey down. And they again had single coverage on the outside, and they recognized it and tried to get the ball deep to Pankey.
Tell you what, Hudson and Lakewood St. Edward in a Region 1 final, which is the state semis, would be a great game. He had him, Pankey had a step or two there, just a little bit overthrown, but pretty good coverage. Rashawn Edwards is a good cover guy, an all GCL South performer, and the St. X secondary, for the most part, has played pretty darn well tonight.
So it's 3rd down and 8, and the Bombers need a stop. And here comes Hughes, and they will get that stop. And right there at the line of scrimmage is a guy that has had a tremendous year in Cole Jones.
Yeah, Cole Jones and Ryan Stofko from Moeller, the co-linebackers of the year in the GCL South. And believe me, there's some pretty darn good ones. Penetrates in the backfield, and again, there's been some tremendous one-on-one tackling tonight.
And you think about the decision that has to be made right now. You know, you got 4th down and 9 from the 36-yard line, and they're really in a predicament.
Well, I don't know. You don't punt the ball because, I mean, you're too, and I don't know, do you want to try the long field goal? And I think they're going to take a timeout and think about it.
They are. They're going to call timeout.
I think I'd go for it. I mean, with your defense as good as they've played tonight, I think I'd take a chance here.
John Rodenberg trying to figure out what to do.
And, you know, Tim, I don't know how many people are aware of John Rodenberg, too. I mean, he won a state championship at Covington Catholic.
He did.
South of the Ohio River, and he's won the last 2 at Moeller and did a good job at McNicholas High School as well. I mean, he's just a good football coach, period, end of story.
Yeah, disciplined, and a guy that has got tremendous He gets everything he can out of those guys, that's for sure.
Now they are going to try the field goal, and I guess when you got a guy like Matt Coughlin, who again is 12 of 19, kicked a 37 and 47-yarder in the first game.
Monday nights at 8, Bruce Hooley's out to make you the smartest sports fans in Ohio. Catch him on an all-new Hooley. That's Monday nights at 8 p.m. right here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Now they're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah. Good little Monday night lineup. I enjoy my more sports with Les Levine, too.
53 yards with the wind at his back. This would be a career-long high snap, plenty of leg, and it is no good.
Yeah.
Wide right. I mean, he has had 2 sail on him tonight, but he made one into the wind and then one with the wind.
Probably a little overcompensation. I mean, when you're maybe a little bit outside your range, you do, but still, nonetheless, I mean, you know, Moeller with a 2-touchdown lead, sending its defense. You know, very seldom do you want to send your defense back out there, but I think Moeller doesn't mind. Tim, Monday nights, come on now, you got more sports with Les Levine, armchair quarterbacks, Hooley. I mean, it's 3 hours. I can just kick back my chair, get a beverage, and
there you
it's
go.
a fantastic evening for me.
Here we go as the Bombers need a score. They start from their 20-yard line. They've got 80 to go. And Whitrock looking for the screen. Will fire at the middle, and it is incomplete. And Ben Glines gets popped, and Elijah Payne just undressed him.
Yeah, and that's one of those where, you know, if you're the quarterback, you got to be careful you don't put your guy out there on an island. Glines a tough kid, and man, this Moeller defense, they hit you too. I mean, they are just solid tackle. Good clean hit, led with the shoulder. And you can see it right there. And if you're Moeller now, you just pin your ears back. I mean, you know, they're going to throw on every down, or at least in theory, you would think.
14-0 Crusaders. Second down. Whitrock's going to go over the middle, and Frick had it in his hands, and that's pass interference, and it'll go against the Crusaders.
I know the Moeller sideline not enamored with that call, but rarely can you go over the top and not get flagged.
Mitch Browning was on coverage, and they'll march off 15.
Interference, number 3. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Moves it out to the 35-yard line. You know, in basketball, you score with the clock that's stopped. Yeah. Well, you got to move the football sometimes through the air, and then the clock is stopped.
Man, look at that again. I don't know.
Well,
it's very close. I mean, he definitely comes over the iffy.
Good competition.
We're not wearing stripes, Tim.
That's right. And coming over the top and being very competitive in one-on-one battles. And that ball is tipped, and they tried to get Frick over the middle again. And guess who? Stopko.
Well, and what you're doing if you're Moeller like this play right here, you're just dropping the guys back. I mean, you're not going to get beat deep. I mean, you're preventing against the big play, and you can see Whitrock's actually on this drive has had some time, had more time to throw the ball, but that's because Moeller lightening up a little bit of the aggressive nature on the line. You got the 2-score lead, drop some guys back and just prevent the big play, which they're doing.
Steve Speck concerned to make things happen here. 11 out of 24 for Whitrock in the ball game through the air. Second down. Needs to get to the 45-yard line for a first down. He's going to go throw deep again, and this time it is caught. Caught across the way. That is a huge play. And that goes. I'm done. I'm off. Oh, that's McFarland. That's McFarland. Tyrone McFarland.
Here's another look at it. Got enough time. Pretty good pocket there. Just a tremendous catch into double coverage.
Well, Frick had one earlier.
He did.
And now McFarland keeps his eyes on the ball.
And all of a sudden now they're back down in scoring position. If they can knock one in here, we got ourselves a pretty exciting last 5 minutes.
Whitrock going to go near sideline. Frick's over there, and did he catch the football? Yes,
he did.
He caught it, and we've got a flag, and we'll see if that's on Moeller or on St. X near sideline, but that ball is to the 11-yard line.
I think that's going to be on Moeller, Tim. I actually thought, looked like the Moeller defender was going to be able to close and maybe make a play, intercept it, but Ronnie Frick with a nice catch, and suddenly, if this goes against Moeller, it goes against St. X.
Wow. That was 35 yards to McFarland to set this up, and now it's...
Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 3 in the offense. 15 yards. Result of the play was a first down. It'll be 1st and 10.
All right, so here's your look. First of all, the play. Whitrock throwing along the sideline. Frick with the catch. It obviously came well after the catch. Looked like he might have been out of bounds.
Steve Speck. Oh, my. Yep, that didn't go in their favor at all. So let's march it back to the 25, and here's the reverse. And Frick is not going to get much at all, and loses yardage all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Looked like that was designed for Frick to throw the football there, but he just didn't have enough time. Once again, Moeller in the backfield. So Whitrock hands it to Glines, who pitches it back to Frick, and you can see instant pursuit. Boy, great block.
There's just no
Elijah
place.
Taylor again.
He is so quick, fast, physical.
Tremendous block here.
And Shirk was right there as well. And there is Taylor.
Yeah, Shirk really drove him back inside, and Moeller trying to keep it shutout intact, Tim.
2nd down and 16. Just being aggressive. And here's Whitrock throwing near sideline, incomplete. Tried to get it to Glines. Yep. A little bit too far out. And good coverage on the play as well. Abel back there.
Yeah, Noah Abel, who's had a good solid season for Moeller, and you can see him once again. You know, the defensive secondary for Moeller also saw. The thing about Moeller's defense is they just don't have a real weakness. They pressure you up front. They got the 5-man defensive line rotation. They got great linebackers led by Ryan Stofko. They've got an experienced secondary. You know, Tim, everybody talks in today's football levels about the spread and wide open, but at the end of the day, if you got a good defense, you can win football games.
Yeah, Moeller's only given up 22 touchdowns. They put Glines in motion. They look that way. Whitrock steps up.
Time.
He's got a man, and it is incomplete, overthrown in the end zone. They tried to get the ball to McFarland, but it was overthrown, incomplete in the end zone. Hayes had his hands on the football. It's 4th down.
Getting it Abel and Hayes and Brawning and those guys in that secondary. Good cover. Whitrock with plenty of time here. That's one of his most wide open pockets he's had all night, but right there, just man-to-man coverage. And,
it was right in Hayes' hands. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dropped it. So it's 4th down. 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to go here in the football game.
Well, this is it, Tim. I mean, you have to score on this drive. You're just running out of time.
Down to their last play of this drive. If they don't convert, they need the 15-yard line. Glines in motion near sideline. Whitrock going to throw, and it is broken up across the way. Frick was the intended receiver, and it was Wurzel who got his hands on the football, and it will be Moeller ball as they turn it over on down.
And the Moeller defense just continues. Wow. I mean, you think about these 2 games. I mean, we're almost 8 quarters. What a great defensive play there.
My.
Tremendous. Just laying out, knocking the football away.
This is an outlet route. Frick is open for a flash of a second, and they knock that ball away, and Speck is complaining, and he is giving it to the linesman.
Boy, he really is. I don't know what it obviously wasn't pass interference. It must have been something else as part of that play.
The Crable dives ahead to the 36. Moeller just asserting themselves defensively, and they're arguably the best defense that I've seen all year.
Yeah, well, and again, I tell you, whoever wins that Lakota West
Wayne game,
I mean, is going to have to figure out a way to penetrate this Moeller defense, because in 3 postseason games, and really, quite honestly, since that, when they put together the game against Trinity, which they won a close one, really kind of started the defense. And the defense has been good all year, though. I mean, it really has.
Crable was trying to call timeout, And he didn't get it. He didn't get it. They got him for delay. They brought both of the tight ends into the backfield, took out Hughes, and there was confusion on exactly what the play was going to be. So John Rodenberg is going to keep those two big backs in there, the tight ends in the backfield. Clock running at 3:45. 14-0 Moeller. And Crable's just going to run this one up the middle, and he gets leveled.
He did.
Leising. And now a timeout, St. Xavier, and he's going to have to use his timeouts.
Yeah, that was David Leising. He's had a tremendous year as well in the secondary.
Yeah, he's been one of their leading tacklers,
yeah.
And we haven't called his name very much at all tonight. All right, let's go sideline, and here's Scott Leo.
Well, guys, we've talked about it throughout the course of the night. This St. X team has missed their chances to get on the board in this game. And if they score on that first drive, maybe it's a different scenario. But this was a Moeller defense that was coming in chasing history, giving up just 13.5 points per game, 163 points through 12 games, and now they've got a chance for a shutout here this evening. This is the best statistically Moeller has been on defense since 1993. So if you were St. X, you knew you had to take advantage of whatever drives you could string together, and tonight they didn't do it.
No, Scott, you're right, they didn't. And I would tell you, you think back to that first drive, if they punch it in there, I think you have a whole different ball. Because when we talked to Steve Speck, remember what he said, we're going to run the football. That's what we do. And you know, really, here's your problem, though. When you can't run it, then you're forced to throw it. So I don't know that, you know, you could say, man, X seemed to get away from its game plan. No, it really didn't. Moeller prevented it from running the football and forced the Bombers to have to throw the ball more, and that's just not what they would choose to do if given the preference.
13 out of 29 for Matt Whitrock for 134 yards.
He wanted to throw 12 to 15 passes, possession passes, complete 9 to 12. He's thrown twice as many. Again, not because you want to, but because you have to.
And you're behind 14-0 if you're the Bombers. And here's Crable out of the gun on 3rd down and 6. And they will give it the butts, and he will be stopped after a couple of yard gain, but that clock continues to run, and now stopped with another timeout by Steve Speck and the St. X Bombers.
You know, think about preparing for the postseason in this league. I mean, Peyton Ramsey and Elder, tremendous offense. I mean, Elder made the postseason, went to Wayne and got beat. LaSalle in the Division II state semis, they've scored 40 or more points in 10 of 13 games. And then you're playing against the St. X offense. And then you go and you play the Ignatius, the Eds. I mean, if you're not ready for the postseason with that schedule, who is?
Well, and it is very strong. And you think about just the opportunity that the GCL may have 2 state champions. Well, and I mean, they're positioning themselves in that. They may play for 2 state championships.
Well, LaSalle's already in the Division II state semis. The Region 2 final is a state semifinal game. So one of these 2 teams right now, it looks like Moeller will be there. So at least have 2 in 2 different divisions of Final Fours. You know, and another thing Scott alluded to earlier is Moeller, for the most part, has been healthy on defense. They've got their first teamers out there tonight. That's a factor, too.
So it is 4th down and 6. Donnelly back to receive this punt. Ooh. And that one is knocked to the side, and so that one is out of bounds, and it'll be St. X football. So taking a family trip, how about visiting Tom Raper RVs in Columbus, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana? You can also go online at tomraper.com.
That's something I've always wanted to do, Tim. Really, get an RV, go around, you know, Friday night high school football, little Saturday college football, spend my fall driving around.
Coast to coast.
I don't know that my wife would be too keen on that. I think, yeah, she would.
But you could go anywhere in the state and see some outstanding football. So Shirk makes another tackle, and it's a 2-minute offense with 3:14 to go, and Whitrock is going to throw it here. And near sideline, and it's picked and that's going to go all the way. That is a touchdown, Moeller, and they just put the icing on it right there. Interception by Abel. Noah Abel takes it the length of the field for a touchdown, and Moeller has extended their lead.
Yeah, Noah Abel, who's played really well all season long. And, once again, St. X is not a having to throw the football on every down kind of team and just waiting to step in front. We got a call here.
Penalty. And I'm not sure
personal foul of some type.
Yeah, it is a personal foul against St. Xavier. So that touchdown makes it 20-0 Moeller. And this St. X Bomber team just really, really frustrated. They were rolling early. That was a 39-yard touchdown.
Dead ball.
Noah Abel
Personal
with
foul.
the interception.
Number 77 is St. Xavier. 15 yards will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown is good.
So penalties have really been racked up on the St. X side.
And Tim, sometimes if you're a coach or a football team, you just get beat. You know what I mean? But St. X, when they look back at this game, I think it's going to feel a lot like they did the first time they played. We had chances. We showed you earlier missed opportunities. Matt Conlon knocks home the extra point. They've had opportunities. It started with the first drive. They carried it 18 plays down the field in position, got stopped. They had other opportunities too, and here's a look at the throw. Whitrock and Abel just timing that, stepping in front, down the sideline he goes. Again, the score right now, 21-0, is nowhere near indicative of how tight of a game this really was.
No, and it certainly was a huge defensive effort by these Moeller Crusaders.
Now there you go, one more look at it, Tim, and he just stepped in front of Ronnie Frick there, and off he goes.
And Abel with his third interception of the season. The seniors got offers from Lafayette, Eastern Kentucky University, and I think he's going to be a collegiate player somewhere because he has just he's played a good field game tonight, and on top of that, he's just been outstanding all season long, just like that secondary.
Well, Tim, the thing about Moeller's defense is it's just solid. It's obviously got Elijah Taylor on the line and Ryan Stofko at linebacker, and, it's got the rotation, and linebackers are athletic, etc. They're fast. They're not overly huge. Don't get me wrong, when you stand next to them, they're not diminutive kind of guys, but they just make plays. And the bottom line is, Scott talked about it earlier. You got to go back to the early 90s for a defense this prolific in Moeller's football history.
They've marched off the penalty on the kickoff, and that one sails all the way to Dayton. 3:03 to play. Moeller by 3 scores. And boy, you think about the potential for John Rodenberg's team.
Tim, I'm telling you, in today's day and age, when you look at how competitive the Division I level is, to even have an opportunity to be 2 wins away from a 3rd straight state title, staggering. It really is.
When is less more? When it's more sports and less Levine. The self-proclaimed voice of the truth and reason, live Monday through Thursday, 6 o'clock only on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Running play to the left side, not much running room at all. And that Moeller defense continuing to stop it up here tonight. And they've done it all season long and in the playoffs too. They'll throw it to the near sideline, and that is a completed pass to Matt Donnelly.
Do you know what Les's sign-off line is?
No, I don't.
It's fantastic. Of all the shows I've done, this is the most recent. I think that's great.
I remember.
He does that at the end of every show.
Yeah, I like it. And that is completed near sideline out to about the 28-yard line. Because Hesser makes the completion. Now it's 3rd down and 4 from the 29.
4th and 1.
They're going to go again. Yep. And that one is complete, and they'll move the chains on 4th and 1.
Here's the thing, though, Tim. If you're St. X, look, you don't want to lose, obviously, but they're young, and they got a ton of dudes coming back. They really and truly do. They lose some key seniors, no question about that, but they've got a lot of underclassmen. And, you know, you hate to see anybody lose a game like this, but you can't you can't forget.
Oh, Abel's got another one. He jumped the route.
He did.
And the intended receiver was Matt Donnelly, and it was Abel who took it away. Second interception here in the fourth quarter.
Man, you can see it. You called it. There's Whitrock. He just steps in front, trying to get the ball to Donnelly, and Abel anticipated again. And you know, you're not. This isn't what St. X does. They don't throw the ball on every down. And you've got a guy who, let's be fair, wouldn't be having to make all these plays were Sean Clifford able to go. So, I mean, you know, you have that kind of a circumstance, and Moeller now, it's a very, very impressive, and they're going to get a shutout win, and that's very impressive.
Down to 2 minutes and 1 second left to go in the ball game, and we get some of the second stringers in there, and Moeller has changed running backs. And I believe that's Wagner now, the senior.
Don't want to take a chance of getting anybody hurt in the last couple minutes of the game because you've got more games to play.
Yep, Tyler Wagner. You're going to play one more next week. And there's no question this Moeller football team has the determination to win 3 in a row. You can see it in their eyes. And in that first quarter, they took a big-time shot from St. X, and they held on and only ran 4 plays. They're taking every single second off that clock right now.
Well, and here you go. Here's a look at the last 2 INTs. There's the first one. No Abel stepping in front of Ronnie Frick, taking it down the sideline to make it 21-0, and then he steps in front of Donnelly here, and No Abel coming up. Again, you had Elijah Taylor on the front, Ryan Stofko at linebacker, and there Noah Abel coming up with 2 big fourth quarter interceptions to salt things away from Moeller.
Matt Crable just waiting to the last second on the play clock. Down to 38 seconds here in this regional semifinal. And they'll hand it off up the middle again to Tyler Wagner. He pushes the pile, and I believe he's got enough for a first down, and that is going to do it.
That's it.
Yep, that is for sure. And they will move the chains, and they'll run the clock. And those Moeller Crusader fans across the way are going to celebrate tonight with the Crusader team. They're going to get in victory, and this game is going to be over. 21 points on the board against their arch rival, the St. Xavier Bombers. And Steve Speck, John Rodenberg will come to the middle of the field, and with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and this football game is over. The Moeller Crusaders have shut out the St. Xavier Bombers here at Mason to win the regional semifinal. They will go into the state semifinals next week, and that's one step closer to a 3rd consecutive state championship.
Hard to believe 2 more wins and Moeller has a 3-peat, which to me today is absolutely unheard of in Ohio at any level, but especially at the D1 level.
Here we go. Let's go to the sideline, and here's Scott.
Well, Coach, this was a game you knew coming in was going to be a dogfight, and it was for much of the night, but your guys were able to withstand that long St. X drive at the beginning and made a couple of plays on offense, and then later your defense with a couple of big plays, one of them leading directly to the score. Just talk about what this game was all about.
Well, you know, I told our guys it's all about Moeller football. We weren't trying to worry about anybody on the outside. I said, you know, I thought we were a pretty good football team. We came in as the underdog. I told them to stick with what we do, and the defense is playing great football, and the offense will come through and get their shots. And I'm real proud of these guys because they huddled around each other and they got after it, and we won a big football game tonight.
You knew that they wanted to run the football, and you guys were able to take them out of their element, force them to open things up. How big was that?
It's huge, but that's our strength is stopping the run. So, you know, I knew that would be good for us, you know, to force them to pass. And, you know, they were hurt without their starting quarterback, and he really brings a lot to the table. So, you know, we just fell into a good situation there.
When you guys went through October and you lost those 3 games, what has changed to allow you guys to now make this run again through the playoffs?
Well, you lose to LaSalle, who's in the semifinals. You lose to St. Ed's, who's probably in the semifinals. We lost to great football teams, and I think that makes us a good football team, and it kind of weathers us a little bit.
All right, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Scott, and thank you, Coach, and certainly a big win for the Crusaders tonight, 21-0, a shutout of the St. Xavier Bombers here in the regional semifinals at Mason. And we will return, and we will continue with our postgame when we come back. A 21-0 win by the Crusaders over the Bombers here in Mason.
Thanks the ball carrier.
If I could sum up Mike Gilkey, I would say obsession with quality windows.
He has a passion that drives him to even try to enhance the best product he can have. So I'd have to say he is obsessed with it.
I am obsessed with building the best because I'm building the windows for you. I want you to be proud of your home.